person to answer that question, of course.
Oh yeah, yes.
Oh yeah, first soy boy. Yeah. His voice is very light when he wants to talk about his own opinion.
Well, when you're very in tune with the Communist Manifesto, you're the best person to talk about what is a bad form of male behavior, which I think would be accurate if you did a objective look at the damn thing. But
I learned what is and isn't toxic masculinity when I was in northern South Korea teaching English. And they taught me what is and is not toxic masculinity.
Anyway.
Unfortunately, they were speaking Korean, and I didn't know what they were saying. But I assume it must have been good.
All right. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 346. What is and is not toxic masculinity? In case you don't know the rest of the title, it is by Renegade Cut. It is that time of the month. And yay! All kinds of...
that time of the month.
Well, yeah. I mean, we do that every month, and it's always fun for some of us and painful for others, but we try to have a good time in the process. This is let me just check, a 20-minute video. Came out in March of 2019. Has about 215,000 views. So, cool. He is the man. Teach us about...
I want to ask, because I feel like I never get this answer. What is toxic masculinity?
We don't know. We've tried multiple times. We've covered YouTubers before that tried to tackle that. I think Veritas Joe did a video on that, and we covered it. And my God, was that
what? No,
that was horrible. So
toxic masculinity, nigger, and that's all I can remember.
Whoa!
No, yeah, that's a red flag right there, Hawk.
I don't want to get demonetized right now.
Hold on. Let me rephrase that. That's nigger. See, I sensed the bad.
Whoa! Hold on. This is a family stream, okay? Let's leave the N-words out of it.
I believe.
No way. What's up with this faggot?
Toxic masculinity. Oh, Tadros.
Hello,
man.
Hey,
Yeah, I hit my
what's
voice.
up?
what's up?
Go just then.
We were just quoting Veritas Joe on his excellent use of the word "n," and that was. I mean, he's the best guy to explain stuff about life.
The Niger word.
I'm glad it's that one.
Yes.
I'm glad it's that one and not the National Socialist one, because that would be even worse. But so.
Oh yeah.
Well, I just love when they always say, "Oh, you can't say the N-word, you can't say," but you can say Nazi.
Oh no.
I mean, that's a pretty serious word too.
I'm going to say the N-word. Negotiations.
How dare you?
Yeah, you can't tell right now, but I'm crying.
But to answer Eric's question, what is toxic masculinity? It's literally just being a guy.
Yeah, I don't even.
That was it. That was the end of my sentence.
It's basically if you don't
if you don't
submit, you're toxic. That's
it. Yeah, that's it. There's no other thing.
Well, it's always weird too, because then you see the LGBT and it's like, well, they want to be a man, so then it's not bad.
Well, unfortunately they think that somehow men have all these privileges, and then they become a man, and then they moan that they haven't got any privileges, and we're like, yeah.
And then the best thing is they can do is like Linkara's "I am a man" punch, and that's it.
Yes, all the homeless men have all these great privileges. Yep, totally.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite kind of privilege.
Mm-hmm. My favorite kind of privilege is how you can lose 50% of your income just because your wife doesn't love you anymore.
Yes. No. Yes. And she's cheating with the neighbor next door.
Who's an 18-year-old woman from Florida.
Oh, God.
I want someone to make the video of like toxic femininity. Like, can we talk about that for a moment?
That's easy. You just film women. Yeah. You just show all kinds of women.
Yeah.
Show the women. It's over.
Yeah. It's like that. What was it? That thing in Family Guy. What was it? Where they where Stewie traps. What was it? The guys. I'm echoing off of Tadros's stuff.
Oh shit.
Because I heard my voice and I don't like my voice.
Pay attention to your equipment, guys. Always.
Yeah, we don't like your voice either.
Oh, that would matter if it was somebody who I cared about saying that. Anyway,
Which is none of us.
no, I like some of you. Sometimes, maybe, possibly, but yeah, there's a funny thing on Family Guy where he's like they've trapped like Brian, Peter, Quagmire, and Joe, and they all stay friends and everything like that. But in the women's version, they just keep fighting each other. And Susie goes, "Yeah, they've only been in there 5 minutes. We don't even know each other's names. They're just fighting each other." I'm like, "Yep, that's women."
I mean, it's well, okay. I'll give Family Guy this. They're not wrong either.
Mm-hmm. Women understand women and they hate each other, and that's what I live by.
Well, the definition for toxic masculinity, I can give you the actual Google search one. It's basically saying that there are certain behaviors that men are forced into, which are harmful to individuals as well as the society as a whole. And that's where I'm sort of hung up, saying if this has been negatively impacting society on a whole, and we've been doing this for hundreds, if not thousands of years, what have we been doing right that we still have this behavior, and why is it now suddenly wrong? And that's what I'm always lost on when we talk about this, because there's definitely behavior which is bad, which we can attribute to males because males are more aggressive, they're more outspoken, I would argue, and they're more.
I like aggressive. What do you mean?
There's also women who do exactly the same. That's the problem. There's nothing specific to men,
right,
when it comes to behaviors and actions, because people can do both things. So
there's lots of catty women. There's lots of women who talk down to other girls, or there's lots of infighting because women are women, guys are guys. It's all growing up. It's all that same process and realizing, hey, now you're an adult. Now I don't do that anymore. I have better things to do. And it's part of that world of childhood that never got past high school. And I don't know.
Yes, it's schoolyard politics is what we call it over here.
Yeah, I sort of attribute that to mental processes as well. So it's not just negative, violent behavior like aggressive behavior or swearing, but it's sort of the emotional reaction to everything is important, as opposed to, wait a second, do you understand the law? Do you understand why you are allowed to say certain things? And that's just life. You have to deal with other people's opinions, no matter how they say it. So
yeah, it always feels like these people are 5 seconds away from calling the teacher on you, and you're like, "What? Why? We're out of school, guys. Come on."
Right.
Why are you bullying me?
Oh, it's not even that. It's like you do something, they go, "I'm gonna tell on you," no, and you're like, "What the fuck?" We're in our mid-20s. We've been out of school for years. What are you on about here?
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I left school. What was it? 11 years ago now, and people still, who I know who are my age, still treat it like we're still at school. I'm like, it's been a decade. It's been over a decade.
All right, let's get started. It's going to take a little bit longer because I'm sure he's going to say some crazy stuff, and it's going to cause us to just meditate for a good 2 minutes and just go, whoa.
I mean, I left.
Anyway, here is Vladimir Dragunov. Remember that Poe Dameron did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
In fact, he did a lot of things right. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. He destroyed a super Death Star filling ship. Whatever. I don't care. He did that on his own.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Exactly.
Another one.
Pretty cool.
Another one from Vladimir. My favorite privilege is being sent to die overseas for nothing. I don't know.
Yeah. I love being drafted.
Oh, is that what you mean? I don't know exactly, because that could have been like your company, or I don't know, maybe your job, whatever you do for a living.
Sent overseas to die. I mean, I don't know if Starbucks is getting a bit, dangerous. Isn't it?
You're a bad male.
Go send delivery to Afghanistan.
Yeah, go to Central Europe.
He needs a latte.
we're opening up a new Starbucks in the middle of like ISIS-occupied Iraq. We've decided to give you the management job. It's just, you're gonna have to open up 9 a.m. on Monday. You're like, no.
It's like,
All right.
yeah, it's fun getting drafted. I know.
Oh dear. Here's the Mechanist. Thanks for the donation. Rewatched yesterday's stream when I got home. I didn't need to see the adult Tanya cosplay. Now I have to watch the anime. Wow, was that impactful? Holy crap. That was our last, it wasn't really a meme, but it was a picture of a Japanese lady dressed up as Tanya the Evil and doing a very good job, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great anime if you want to watch.
I'm glad people took that from the video and not anything else, because there was nothing else of value in that video. Don't hate watch stuff unless you're getting money from it, but then just hate what you then just love. If you love to hate it, watch it. You're like, mate,
It's funny because it seemed like he had a point, but then he sort of missed it.
he missed his own point. But then again, if he spent more time, actually thinking his arguments out than saying nigger, then we might have, been a better video. But here we are.
We can't say the gamer word, Hawk.
I'll say it in Arabic. Zingi. No one can. No, it's not an N word. I get it too.
What is it? Zingy.
You said it perfectly.
Just say Negro.
Did I actually just say it perfectly? Zingy. Okay, that's fine.
That's the Hispanic way.
There's a very famous catchphrase from that show. I think it's off the air now. It was Sheldon Cooper character.
Oh, Bazinga.
Yeah.
Bazingi. Oh, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that word from now on. Bazingi. Okay.
Yeah, they think you're being retarded saying the phrase wrong. You're like, no.
No. I'm working on a level beyond your comprehension.
My level of swearing is a little higher than the average gentleman. Oh dear. Oh,
it's just everyone's like trying to understand it. Me though with my monocle and tea, like British flags around me, going, I am beyond your comprehension. Bazingi.
Okay. All right. Here's Tyler Preston. Thanks for the donation again. Oh goody, I missed Weeb Day. Watched as Kevin Smith massacred He-Man. Oh, he released it. And now I get to hear a man whose balls still haven't dropped yet lecture me about toxic masculinity. Also, why the F is he using Conan the Barbarian? Because it's the 80s. He's using the 80s motif, and that's the most masculine of all the 80s, is Mr. Schwarzenegger.
Is it?
Some good old-fashioned Arnold.
I would say yes.
We can't say that word.
We can't say what?
The N-word, Smud. You can't.
I just said
it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. Oh my god.
Nigger is not.
What the hell?
The long E sound, not the short E or I sound. So anyway.
It's not the hard E. Don't worry, guys.
Nigger.
Schwarzenegger. Yeah, okay. Oh my god. Swedish chef. And then we get going. Schwarzenegger.
I can feel like if Whisper's here, she'd be like rolling in her like grave or whatever it is, just going, you're pronouncing all these words wrong. All of these words are so wrong.
Yeah, she'll give us like 3 versions of the same word from different regions of Germany. It's like Holland and Austria. No.
Wait, hold on. Did you just say Dutch is completely different from Germans. Even I'm just getting like, hold on. The Dutch are nice. I like the Dutch.
All right, here's this Swedish chef. Remember, Linkara wants to give the green M&M a BJ. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but okay.
No, not Linkara. It was Doug, the nostalgia critic, I think.
Wait, hold on. He wants to give the green M&M a a blowjob.
No,
Why?
that's a joke that came from the fact that he did a video on that Doug did a video on the history of the M&Ms and brought up the whole controversy involving green M&M from the commercials. That's like people love
Right.
the hell out of it.
Yeah, okay, but
all right.
green M&M is a woman. The green M&M is a woman, so wouldn't he be getting a blowjob off of the green M&M, not giving her a blowjob? Because I don't know about you guys, but do you know if you go down on a girl and just start blowing, she's not going to be very happy.
Well, that's besides the point.
Well, how do you know?
How do I know? Experience. I've been told to leave and.
Okay.
Experimentations.
All right.
I had extraordinary results.
One more from Great Scott, and we keep going. Thank you for the donation.
Yes.
I feel so privileged to get Agent Orange in the face and go blind for my country, as some Karen accuses me of rape for looking at her. I'm blind. Throwing money away at court only for it to get dropped, and she gets to walk scot-free.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That sounds very fun.
I'm gonna be honest. That has actually happened to me, where someone accused me of something, then just dropped it all when the police actually asked the questions, and she said, "Lol, only joking," and walked away scot-free.
Yep.
Jesus.
So yeah,
All they get is a slap on the wrist. But
no,
worse,
not even
right?
not even a slap on the wrist. Literally.
Oh, I know, but
nothing
I mean, in
happened.
more severe cases, it's just a slap on the wrist. So like, wow, really?
It's ridiculous. It's
Okay.
disgusting. But as I said, that's because I'm a toxic male. So you know,
Oh
That
yeah.
only makes sense.
All
it
right.
makes
We're
sense.
toxic. We're toxic pieces of shit. But who's gonna
Yeah.
protect us?
At the end of the day, that's why I hate women. On top of the other things, but for the reasons why I hate women. But you know,
Well, let's find out what the actual definition is for Renegade Cut and his extrapolation from that, and any
Oh, I'm so excited.
kind of ramblings and analysis he can provide for the next 20 minutes and a half. So here we go.
so 4 hours. Okay then. I hate it already.
Coronet instructional film. Is this his own? Yeah, it's his own shtick. Okay, fine. That's fine.
Masculinity
I said I hate
is a
it
set
already.
of attributes, values, and behaviors associated with being a man. It is a social construct that is distinct from biological.
No, it's not.
Here we go with the fucking social construct.
What is with
what a
that
great
term?
start.
Social construct.
I don't know.
Everything to them
I
is
don't
a social. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. Everything is a social construct. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
because
Okay, let's go back to the caveman days. What was the social contract for that?
Eric, the
The
thing you
zingy.
have to remember. The thing you have to remember
That's
is
a
everything is a social construct to communists, because if it's a social construct, it means they can try and control it, and they want to control everything, so they just say everything's a social construct, even if
I'm
it's
a
not.
social construct.
It's all
It's a social
about.
contract, except when it comes to women. Okay.
But the main thing is they have to make everything a social construct, because it means it gives them the opportunity to take control of something. So they want to take control of your masculinity, so they have control over you. So
But, but Renegade Cut, like, he's not going to achieve anything. That's my problem with it. He's like an idiot.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know about that because like you get followers because of this shit. So
yeah,
it's not the
but,
same. It's not the same amount of control, but it's control nonetheless.
yeah, yeah.
That's true, I guess. Yeah.
Here's the Swedish chef one more time. No, I meant give. Watch the Medicare vid on Linkara. Oh.
Oh, you mean give? Wait, give. Sir, I'm still confused. You cannot give a woman a blowjob. Listen. I didn't pass my sexual education classes very well, but even I know you cannot give a woman a blowjob.
Anyway, if you want, you could watch
Pretty
that
sure
video.
you can.
You could watch that
If
video.
you are,
If you want, you could watch
it's
the
not a
video. Okay, let's not get off on a tangent here.
Yeah,
Giving a
that's-
blowjob is a social construct.
Oh God.
Exactly. There you
Anyway.
go.
Anyway, here's the mechanist. Thanks for $1 donation. If she's best girl and looks like that cosplayer, I'll set up an appointment with Truckroyd to isekai me to World War One. Hopefully, when she's in her 20s, I pray that I don't end up in the Wizard of Oz. You do realize that's a man, right? Tanya the Evil inside is a man. Yeah, she has the body of a female, but the mind and experience of a man. That's the point.
nobody's perfect, Smud. Nobody's perfect, Smud. So you know.
If you want a violent, psychopathic, blonde lowly, I mean, there's your show. So
What is it? Just remind me of. Smud, have you ever seen? Was it Some Like 'Em Hot?
No.
That old 50s movie. Well, at the end, it's was it like Tony Curtis? They dress as women, and at the end, one of the guys who's still dressed as a woman has been saved from this thing by this boat captain who's got a crush on him, and he's like going like, "Listen, I'm not that sort of girl." He goes, "It doesn't matter." He goes, "I'm not really into this sort of stuff." "Oh, we'll make it work." He goes, "I'm barren. I can't have children." He goes, "Oh, that's fine." And he takes off the wig. He goes, "I'm a man." And the guy goes, "No one's perfect like that." So it's just kind of like,
Oh, fuck.
No one's.
but it's just the way it is. And like Tony Curtis just literally like accepts it and just like it's back down. He's like, yeah. So that's what I feel like when you're trying to explain that Tanya the Evil is like a man on the inside. Everyone's like, it's fine. No one's perfect. It's okay.
all right, let's go.
Sex. The term toxic masculinity refers to a specific societal expectation of men that is enforced and policed by men. A narrow, inflexible script of being a man that emphasizes reliance on aggressive behavior, de-emphasizes other more positive traits that are sometimes coded masculine, and dismisses any and all traits for men that are coded feminine. It also
I'm not seeing a problem with like. Wait a second. First off,
Okay.
when we teach people or boys or babies or whatever to be whatever gender they are or whatever behavior we want them to exude, they're all positive. We don't want to teach them bad stuff. I don't know any culture that would bother doing that. And they think it's good stuff. So within the confines of their society, it's good. So I want an example from like childhood that you're trained to do something or taught to do something which is inherently bad. I want an example.
Yeah, because it would always seem like if you don't have like a good parent.
Well, that would be mirroring behavior or not being taught at all. So if you see an abusive parent or a neglectful parent, or sorry, you can't observe something that isn't there, obviously. But if you do not have any training, then you just develop naturally, and then that could be anything. So you listen to other people and you observe other people. But I want from him one example of something we teach kids from an early age that's bad. Okay? That's all I want. If this is the definition, because I don't think those things exist in our society.
He's not going to do that, though.
Well,
Or if he does, it's going to be like the worst example you could ever think
well,
of.
yeah, but if he's giving this definition, it's like, okay, if we are giving one lesson to these kids and not giving the other lesson, which is apparently the better lesson or the good lesson, who are these people? Who are doing this? Who's going around teaching their kids or other kids to behave poorly or negatively? Because that should be pretty freaking obvious. And any teacher, any parent would go, what are you doing? You don't do that. And nowadays, you never hit your kids and all these other behaviors. So there's probably a super ultra positive thought, rational reaction to everything as opposed to emotional reactions from parents. So I want to know what they are. Just give me one example of Renegade Cut and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I find it funny he says it's done by men. Like, it kind of reminds me of school because there was this kid who would like smacks me. He used to smack me, and then my mom said like, okay, if your teacher is not helping you, smack him right back. It wasn't my dad. It was my damn mom. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm smacking that bitch. And when I smacked him, I got in trouble. I said, like, yeah, my mom told me so. She wasn't happy.
and
You're supposed to use your words, not your fist, right?
yeah, while he's punching you to death, you're supposed to say, "I understand," and I understand your hurt and pain. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it's how we do it. It's literally like in British schools. It's like, yeah, even though they might try and stab you, you have to still be friendly. It's like,
Oh
no.
yeah, I know. I heard. I thought that was like a like a meme thing. I didn't know it was.
Oh, bullying in like schools over here. It's just like,
Yeah, it's
just be nice,
like-
shake hands. It's like I'll shake something like his fucking neck when I get hold of him, but yeah. Oh,
Strangling you to death.
Hey,
Like,
I respect your decisions to do this.
All right.
Are you hurt at home? Do your parents love you?
Here is the mechanist. Don't ruin this for me, like you all ruined Felix. And I'm not into lowlies, so I need to time it so she's 20, or I'm the same age as her. And yes, it's just like that movie. Okay.
Yes.
I will.
See?
I will say.
all right.
I will say. I'd rather have bully boys rather than bullying girls. Any fucking
Yes.
time.
Mhm.
Why
Bully
not?
girls are fucking.
I agree.
That's a
I
sexism. That's a sexism.
No, Eric,
my
listen.
butt.
No, Eric, listen. So you need with a bully boy, you can hit them back. Right?
Exactly.
With a bully girl, you hit them back, you can do a lot more damage, and it's kind of bad. So
It's not just that. Like, girls don't rely on physical interaction. Like, this is
yeah,
girls like
and
7.
that's the negative point. That's their downside.
But
So they don't do
equality.
physical violence. Beat the shit out of them. Get your revenge.
Actually, did punch one.
Good.
Anyways.
Besides that, like, yeah, like, girls, like, they can torment you for fucking years in school. Like, there was one who fucked me up for 7 fucking years tops. I was like,
Did you get the
I couldn't.
Did you get the oh she probably fancies you spiel from people?
Yes, and yeah, how it stopped is because I punched her at the back of the head, and that's how it stopped. But besides that, like, fucking hell.
It's always interesting to see how the girls bully each other. Because it's not. It is not physical. It's always on.
Yeah, it's
on a
basically
psychological
fucking
matter.
you up, by
Yeah.
like, by, reputation, popularity.
Yeah.
And then tells you, and then sometimes you get friends actually start to, hit you. Like, oh, that's really fun. That's a lot of fun.
Women are incredibly toxic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
man,
they kinda
bad,
want to get rid
right?
of Fuck men. However,
Like
Black
with boy-
Panther says.
Yeah, with boys, like, hell, you can, like, get in a fight, and then, like, the next day, no one gives a shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There
You
we go.
become friends even. That's how I became
Yeah.
friends with my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
All right. We're not even a minute in, so let's keep on going.
Yeah.
Refers to the incredible and damaging pressure to behave this way in order to achieve or maintain their status as men. When the term toxic
I don't know what he's referring to. I really don't.
Yeah.
Neither do I. This is something I hear a lot and never see any fucking reference.
Okay.
masculinity is used, it is not an assertion that men are naturally violent. It is also not an assertion that all aspects of masculinity are naturally toxic.
Okay, so that's these are stupid statements that doesn't even need to be mentioned. Nothing. All of A is not X. That's a generalized statement, and anyone who says that, we just dismiss that because it's ridiculous. And the same concept, masculinity by itself is toxic. Again, we don't know what toxic means. We don't know the definition. It sounds as if it's a virus or a poison, which is hurting you or is growing in you, or I don't know what the hell that it's supposed to represent. But these two statements are just so ridiculous, you don't even need to say them. But he has to define them. Fine.
That's what's weird about it. Like, why are you even talking about it if it's not either of those?
The obvious answer is he's wiping his own ass, or he's shielding himself from criticism at this point.
Yeah.
Because he's assuming the people who listen to him or disagree would be like, oh, he just hates men. You're like, no, we're not saying that either. He just sounds weird.
Self-hating, man.
Well, that's what it comes down to. That's all it comes down to.
I know. It baffles me day in, day out. All these men that just hate themselves, that just want other men to hate themselves as well.
It's not just that. It's also when you criticize The Last of Us Part 2. Oh, you just hate women. It's like even to today, I got a comment from a guy who's saying, I can't even remember what he said. It was just a one-line sentence. And I'm like, dude, so you disagree with the female bodybuilder who has this exact same opinion as I do? Because all I'm doing is reading an article from Reddit that someone wrote about bodybuilding as a woman. She was a female body. And every freaking week I get a comment like that. And it's like, guys, this is not rocket science. It's basic biology. It's basic exercise. This is what happens to your body if you're a woman and you don't have certain things going through your body. It's that simple. Anyway.
Who's like the sprinklers off?
Yeah, that's not me.
I want to assume it was you, Smud, since you've got the high-end top notch.
Yeah, the top end. Yeah, right.
I'm talking about us. I'm talking about us peasants who are dealing with, I don't know, hamster-run microphones and everything like that.
Anyway,
it's fine now.
Push to talk, folks. You're just fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway.
Before we move on, I do want to say one thing. Who's betting here that these two things that he's just said, he'll contradict later in the video?
Oh, I will. Yeah.
I'll take that bet, yeah.
Yeah.
Smud?
Will.
Come on.
I honestly don't know what to expect. Because this topic is so random. Like, it's just like, what is it to you? And someone's going to give an example of some story, and it's like, I can't relate to that. I'm sorry, that doesn't happen to me. But
you could just look at that statement. It's like toxic masculinity is not masculinity itself. It's toxic. Like, what? So he's a contrarian, or
no? It's like saying babies are bad. It's like, no, they're innocent little children who don't know any better. They can't think. They can't defecate properly. They can't do anything.
Or are they?
Like, I don't need to ponder that. I don't need to ponder their nature and go, yeah, they're totally misunderstood. It's like, no, they're freaking they're
toxic babality.
Yeah. You don't need to underline the fact what a baby is. It's not hard. So.
And before we'll end up covering a Rugrats-related video someday.
Yeah, but Smud, just like to explain baby, just imagine I'm a retard or someone who goes on Twitter a lot. You have to explain what babality and whether it's toxic or not toxic to me.
No, it's not. It's not the finishing moves of Mortal Kombat. Shut up.
Well, the bad thing, like you're arguing like tabula rasa. Like a lot of these people like to say, well, the mind is whatever you make it. It could be stretched and implanted with all sorts of ideas. It's like, yes, that's the general philosophy, but reality is something different. And there's all kinds of psychology that gets in the way of that supposed theory of the mind.
The best thing about that theory, it's always spoken by people who quite clearly have no mind.
Well, they don't have a background in either psychology or behavioral observation or anything regarding sociology. Because once you observe societies from different parts of the world, tribes of Africa, European nations, it's like, oh yeah, there's certain things that are universal that just aren't going to go away, regardless of behavioral therapy or putting someone in a different environment or this or that. So for all else, I was actually talking about this today. For everything else, every other problem you have in your life, there's exercise and there's meditation, and that's the two things you go to whenever there's a problem with you behaviorally. So if you have to change yourself, if you're not happy with yourself, if you have problems at home or you think there's something wrong with you, slow down. If you get stuck, exercise. If you get tired, meditate. You'll figure it out very quickly. Your mind will be clear, and it's just a matter of time before that problem is solved. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Confronting toxic elements of masculinity often runs into the problem of misunderstanding the concept or ignoring the concept for fear of self-reflection. And this has made defining what toxic masculinity is not as important as defining what it is.
Okay, so this is a problem of semantics. So right now they're so far up their own ass, they're not even sure what they're talking about.
I know, I can't even...
Yeah, what
I don't know
what they
that's
should be
saying
doing
anymore.
is addressing the individual and their individual problem, not the concept of this made-up term and the concept of what it is not. It's a waste of time. It is so
But
antithetical.
isn't it lovely? Yeah, isn't it lovely that he thinks anybody that disagrees with the concept just doesn't understand it or is in fear of the
Well,
self-reflection?
it's kind of like talking
Really?
about climate change. Like, we know the climate is changing. It's not. It's self-obvious, right? But they have this weird concept that, oh, it's changing for the worse, or we're doing it. And you're like, how can you know that? How do you know we're impacting the world in this burning fireball of an end that's going to come in?
But I think it's a little bit different though. It's that you can prove that it's not really a thing. It's just a myth.
Well, there are scientific theories that
Not climate change, but I mean toxic masculinity.
well, there are certain male behaviors which you could say that's clearly bad, like fighting. And you're like, yes, but why do you think that happened? Why are they like ask the simple questions? It's not because there's some innate lesson that their father taught them. It's usually the lack of teaching. It's usually the lack of discipline, not because some wild child got angry.
Yeah, but here's another thing. A vast majority of fights occur due to alcohol consumption.
There's always a
and
reason for why a fight
and
happens. Yes.
Yeah, and substance consumption. You'll find that, like in my hometown, like tonight, I'm expecting there's going to be some trouble because all the bars are open, and people are just going to get absolutely rat-arse drunk, and there's going to be fights because it's going to be a lot of people who've had, been tense and everything's been pent up for the last 2 years. I'm going to say 2 years, not like 18 months like everyone's saying. It's been 2 years now, and it's just going to be crazy. But there's a reason behind everything. Like I say, the tension, the stuff, the alcohol brings it out. It's not because they're toxic males. Yeah, they could be dickheads. That's fine, but they're not toxic males. They could be reasonable guys outside of drinking.
Yeah.
But in that one
Yeah, I've
incident,
seen that, yeah.
you see the worst of somebody, and it's like you can't just assume that's what they're like all the time.
Well,
and that's why, like Spud says, it's got to be on a case by case sort of thing.
Yeah, I try not to use the word at all, just because the connotation still sounds weird to me. I still don't know what it means, and all it boils down to is that the behavior I don't like.
But another thing though, Smud, is they, like what this video is going to explain. They don't even know what isn't toxic masculinity. They haven't even figured out what isn't the thing that they've made up. So how do they know what it is? What is toxic masculinity then? If you don't know what isn't toxic masculinity.
Yeah, if you have a clear
Which
definition.
leads me to believe that it's a myth.
Oh yes, no, it's a made up term, and they're constantly trying to narrow it down, and they can't. That's why if you have a clear definition, you don't have to worry about the negative or what something is like. Can you imagine trying to describe something like vanilla ice cream? Well, it's not chocolate. You're like, that doesn't help me. It's also not tree bark. Like, what are you trying to get at?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
It's also not an animal. Okay.
It's not meat. Thank you.
It's like 20 questions, and you're just a bit like, why are we doing this? We shouldn't be doing this. Also, I unfortunately, I will have to go. I just received a. Yeah, that was not what I was expecting. I was expecting my girlfriend, to be out drinking a lot longer, but I just received 2 messages from both people saying, "Please, can I meet up with them?"
Oh, you're such a toxic male hawk.
Yeah, I love my neighbor from Florida and also my girlfriend.
Toxic.
But if I'm back, I'll join back up again. But my last words are: Renegade Cut's a cunt. I don't like him. He's boring. He's a communist, and this video is probably gonna be crap. Bye-bye.
Well,
Bye.
we'll leave it to a professional alcoholic and his friends to deal with
Right.
whatever
Toxic
happens later.
alcoholic.
Okay. Anyway, we're a minute in. We're doing okay.
I'm spending a lot of time in this video trying to get people over the hurdle of what is and is not toxic masculinity, because that seems to be the biggest roadblock in the discourse. Here are some common bad arguments so that we don't have to deal with them in the comments. You think men are toxic. You think masculinity is toxic. No. The term toxic masculinity does not refer to all masculinity being toxic, nor is it a condemnation of man or manhood. It refers to a form of masculinity, not all masculinity. Most who reject toxic masculinity would conversely praise other traits that society often codes as masculine, like courage and protectiveness. The Good Men Project describes it thusly. Toxic masculinity is a narrow and repressive description of manhood, designating manhood as defined by violence, sex, status, and aggression. It's the cultural
That's
ideal
everyone.
of manliness, where strength is everything, while emotions are a weakness, where sex and brutality are yardsticks by which men are measured, while supposedly feminine traits, which can range from emotional vulnerability to simply not being hypersexual, are the means by which your status as man can be taken away. Toxic masculinity positions masculinity in general.
So when you have female traits more than you have male traits, and you measure them on a scale, you go, hey, you seem to be behaving more like a woman, you're acting feminine. That seems a pretty fair assessment. If you look like a woman,
Yes.
you sound like a woman, you dress like a woman, you walk like all these properties, you're going, yep, female, 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 yep, you're a woman. That's generally how these observations
Yeah, but
go.
like
So is that a? Sorry,
yeah,
you were
but
saying.
like aggression, like violence, or like just I don't know, like emotions, all that's like that. That doesn't necessarily apply to men.
Yeah, I mean,
Like that can apply to
it's
like
dependent.
a woman. Yeah.
It's dependent on the
Yeah, have you
specific
never
emotion.
seen a cat fight?
Well, no, it's depending on the emotion
my favorite.
itself. So you could say women are just as aggressive as men. You're like, okay, maybe. In what capacity? And then you have to say they get into fistfights. Well, maybe not. They get into catfights with other girls, sure. But they could get into fistfights. Like, generally speaking, I would argue the boys get into fistfights because that's just how they that is how they show off their aggression.
Yeah, like women would showcase gossip and like ruining one's like reputation, while men or boys would be more physical. I'd say women is like infinitely more brutal because it stays longer.
Yeah, I saw more scuffles in high school with boys than I did with girls, just because that's just how they express themselves. So there are certainly,
Oh,
on
it's
average, more
It's just
behaviors.
this thing of like women wants to talk out the problem versus the guy who wants to actually do something about the problem.
Well, it usually involves
Well,
hitting something,
true.
or strangling something.
well, yeah. I mean, what's the thing? It's, yeah, it's foolish and it's childish, but somebody calls you out or someone calls you a name, it's like you're just gonna want to punch that person. That's usually the mindset of somebody, that wants to express his aggression.
Yeah.
All right.
As superior to femininity, reinforcing a vertical hierarchy. A vertical hierarchy is an unequal social or economic institution or structure. The term toxic masculinity
Okay, let me just rewind that. I'm sorry.
Of course, you had to say unequal.
A vertical
And-
hierarchy. I've never heard this term before.
Not sure what the economic institution has to do with it.
Neither do I. But like, yeah, hierarchies. Yeah, if people are gonna be treated by their actions and the content of the character, then yeah, people are not gonna be treated equally.
All right, so he's talking
Naturally
about
speaking.
any kind of hierarchy. Any hierarchy is a vertical hierarchy because there's someone at the top
Yeah.
and there's someone at the bottom. That's what a hierarchy is.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a flat
So what,
hierarchy.
being successful?
Well, okay, there's a CEO of a company, he's at the top, then you've got all the other chair members, then then you have the project managers, then you have all their other project, like it could be a project manager or project managers, like a sort of operations guy, and then it goes down into individual workers, right? So that's what a hierarchy is. There is no such thing as a flat hierarchy. It just, that doesn't make any sense.
That wouldn't be a hierarchy.
No, it wouldn't. It would just be a bunch of people together in a group.
Yeah. So socialism.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going political in this regard. He could, but this is just a weird definition of just saying the same word twice. Vertical. It's like, yes, cold ice cream. Thank you. Yes, it's ice cream is cold. I got you.
Institution or structure. The term toxic masculinity is designed to describe not masculinity itself, but a form of gendered behavior that occurs when expectations of manliness go wrong. Put even more simply, everyone on the Boston Red Sox are Major League Baseball players, but not all Major League Baseball players are Boston Red Sox. Some of them are Blue Jays and Yankees and such. Nobody is calling all baseball players the Red Sox, and nobody is calling every expression of masculinity toxic. It should be noted, however, that this absolutely does not mean that there exist toxic men and non-toxic men, as if they are neatly divided up like baseball teams. It means that some behavior is toxic and some behavior is not. Everyone is susceptible to negative behavior traits, even those making a conscious effort.
See, this is where I get hung up, because so there are negative behavioral traits. Why don't just call them negative behavioral traits?
Yes.
We do this in
that was such a dumb analogy. Oh my god.
We do this in psychology all the time. This is good, this is bad. Why is it good? Because you're helping people, it feels good, yada yada yada. Why is it bad? You're hurting someone, you're giving into your negative emotions, blah 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 blah. All these reasons. Toxicity? Who the hell knows?
Yeah, it's like what's normal and what's abnormal. Like, just that.
I really hate this term of non-toxic. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Because it's like Hawk said, it's like everyone, it's like control, and yeah, he may not be like your politician, but yeah, it controls the fucking environment that he's in. Like no one, if someone disagrees, like, oh, you're toxic as fuck. That's why I like masculinity, because there's a target they're trying to get, and there's a target they're trying to control.
All right, here is Strawman. Miss Obama, get down. They're going to say the gamer word. The gamer word?
Gamer word?
Vazingi.
Yeah, it rhymed with Tigger.
Oh, no. Great Scott again. I'm toxic. Gotta go become a trap. Renegade Cuck. Oh, dear. And Strawman 505. As a baby, I watched Rambo. As I turned 2, I had my first AK-47 and was game-ending bank robbers. Good times, good times.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, at least someone's having fun.
That's Chad status. Stigma mill.
All right. Jeez. Here's some donations I missed. Sorry. Here's Francis Port Coppola. Man, the left loves this doublespeak. Defund the police doesn't actually mean defund the police. It's close to that. It's very close to that, yeah. Red.
Oh, we're gonna get there.
Red Dead Redacted. That's great. I love that. For these people like Renegade Cuck, toxic masculinity means any trait that men have that remind me of what my divorced mother told me of my father, who I never saw.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Damn.
Sorry to have that.
All right.
Yeah, that's just. It is just bad behavior traits, and it's not really specific to just men. Women do this too. And then you have this weird thing that you have with the LGBT community, where it's like, okay, where does it start and begin? I mean, where does it begin and end?
There is no beginning or end. They're infinite.
It's so lost on me. I don't know. It's the concept has. I don't know. It's lost me.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Not to do so. We should call it something besides toxic masculinity. Perhaps by calling toxic masculinity something else, we could make men less defensive when discussing it, right?
No. It's not about being defensive or reacting to it negatively. It doesn't make any sense. The words do not add up. It's like, is there some viper that's poisoning men's minds, and then they're teaching this poison to other? Like, what are you talking about?
The problem is, Renegade Cut, nobody uses toxic masculinity like how you would use it. There's so many people that just say masculine behavior by itself is toxic. And this is where men get, fucking frustrated with. It's because, like, what are they supposed to do then? What is a man supposed to do if he's not supposed to be a man?
Yeah, if
be a woman?
Yeah, if you do something bad and your girlfriend or some person in public says you're behaving toxically or you're a toxic man, it's like, that's not helpful. They need an actual reason, clearly, what they're doing. Like, what did they do? Because a lot of guys in public probably aren't doing things to hurt people in general, but sometimes they do. And maybe they're drunk, maybe they can't respond properly. There's all sorts of social behavior which is considered not proper, like being too loud or rambunctious. There's all kinds of behavior you shouldn't be doing. But if you say to someone, hey, you're being toxic, that means nothing. We need actual answers to our behavior that's wrong. And that should be as clear as day. And this is where we get
this
stuck.
is baby talk. This is, I can't work with this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's the of like fucking Sam saying do better.
It is, because what does that mean? Can we get into depth? Can we have an actual conversation about how a person can better themselves? Why are you just saying toxic?
Do better.
Do better.
Do better.
Here is
Zingy 2021.
Here's Alex Halo. Of course, it's a reference to Fate, as expected. Iskandar and Astolfo are 100% positive masculinity. Okay. If you say so, Alex. I tend to see people in a war fighting for their own personal reasons as a little crazy, but yeah. They kill people. That's fine. It's war. Anyway.
No such luck. The term patriarchy sounds fairly neutral and scientific in language and contains no scary words like toxic. But when the topic of patriarchy is brought up, the same men who dismiss the concept of toxic masculinity cry out and dismiss patriarchy as well.
Gee, I wonder why.
Again, people are not using the word patriarchy in the correct sense. And
At all.
If you look at when people accuse people of a patriarchy, it's like, well, why the hell is OnlyFans a thing? Why is it that so many women have opportunities to better themselves and financially and how is there patriarchy?
Yeah, that's their excuse.
What does that mean?
There are some men
What
that
does that
are
mean?
getting in the way
What
of
is
female
patriarchy?
development or female lifestyles or whatever. And there's this old men's club or the company is owned by men or whatever. And they refer to that as, I assume, as the patriarchy. Because other than that, I have no idea what they're talking about. We have institutions of the government, of private business and practice that have all kinds of women in them. And they're in charge. So, don't know.
I don't know. It's this thing. It's like men are trying to control everything. It's patriarchy, right? Well, if that was the case, you'd think that would have worked 100 years ago. Why did we let women's rights go through? Why did we allow that?
He's like, God damn it.
Oh, I thought we were patriarchal pigs.
They got drunk, Eric. They didn't know what they were doing. And then they made a mistake and it's like,
they're
oh,
hoping
fuck.
to get laid. That's why they did it. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
They're like, fuck the patriarchy. It's like, yeah, fuck that patriarchy hard.
Okay, let's keep it going.
The is not the problem. The words could be anything, and the same defensiveness would occur.
No, okay, listen. The words have meaning. You don't invent a word that doesn't have the proper meaning when you can't even define the term properly. So the problem is not us.
Yes.
The problem is your definition, which is funny because you're making a video about the word as if this needed to be done. And now you're arguing. The word toxic masculinity could mean anything. No, it could mean one thing if it was clear. And we didn't need to make a video about the topic, but you are.
Yeah, he's retreated because he doesn't want to get embarrassed, you know?
Well, the problem with this video right now, I think you should define all these terms and make whatever point you want to make before you address, I guess, the haters that would disagree with your opinion. Because right now I'm just lost. Well, he doesn't define it.
You're playing a semantic game.
I mean, to be fair, he's being consistent with the whole social construct bullshit. To be fair. So there's that.
It's still a bunch of semantics, and this is the problem with the video as a whole, that you have to even bother to make it. And now he's getting caught up in what something isn't, which all you should have to do is describe what something is. You shouldn't have to say how vanilla ice cream is not mint and not chocolate and not tiger tail and not all these. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. That's silly. It should be a very specific definition that somehow the world didn't know until Renegade Cut came by and clarified it for everyone. Oh, thank you, Renegade Cut. That's what that is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Renegade Cut. Why are you mansplaining to us, huh?
Okay, that got me.
Well, no, because you brought it up. It's yeah, he's explaining it like he's blowing our fucking minds, like we've never seen this before.
All right, let's go.
If we changed the word toxic to something less harsh, like bad, the same people who exclaim, "Oh, so you think all men are toxic?" would instead say, "Oh, so you think all men are bad?"
No, it's how you use the term in regards to what.
Okay.
If you're using a generic sentence like, well, this is what all men do when they're raised improperly, and it's like, well, someone might say, well, so you think every person who's raised improperly is raised poorly or raised to be bad? That's a pretty logical statement. It's not like we're just pulling this out of our ass and thinking you're a horrible person and you hate men. Because we don't care. We don't care about people making fun of the child-rearing behaviors of adult males to their children. It's none of our business. We don't really care. But now you're coming in and saying, well, look at this. You're teaching little Timmy to punch little Billy. You're like, oh, okay, that's bad. You're right. Unless little Billy had it coming. Then it's okay. Like, there's a certain, moral seesaw here. Like, you don't do anything until you finish the fight. Or you don't start the fight until, someone starts hitting you. Then you continue it and finish it and get the hell out of there. So there's lots of situational ethics you have to apply to kids and to adulthood and everything in between. So I still need an example from him. And he's just jumping around the definition, and it's kind of like, all right, yes, but nuance is very key here. So,
don't worry, he'll explain it later in the video.
Oh, yeah.
He's just addressing the haters.
I would prefer if he used the term bad masculinity, really, because that would make sense. Things I think are not good. It's like, yes, please say that. That's a lot simpler.
Just call it, bad behavior. Call it a night. That's it.
Yeah, that's more preferable, I think.
Yeah, it's like bad behavior, usually from men. Have a nice day.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, because because then it's just only specific to men. I'd rather talk about just everybody. It's like, just do good things, be respectful, treat others how you would want to be treated, and just don't be an asshole.
Much.
Yeah.
All right.
Masculinity describes a form of
Hegemonic. Okay, this is a new one.
What is that?
I don't know that word. I never heard that
I don't know either.
I'm not even gonna Google that. That's just.
I actually okay. I just googled it.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Hegemonic, according to the Google dictionary, it's ruling or dominant in a political or social context. So a hierarchy, pretty much. Call it a fucking hierarchy.
Look, Renegade Cut. I know you want to flex your status, but can we just use like regular words?
Yeah, he's using big words so he can look like a big man.
Yeah, he's trying to be a big brain twat.
Yeah, he's being a toxic male.
Yeah, bro, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Toxic male. He's just a twat.
He's mansplaining.
I'm not even gonna give him the dignity of calling him a man. He's just a twat.
He's twat splitting.
Well, maybe he has.
Pretty much.
maybe he has an art degree. So.
Oh God.
So the concept of hegemonic masculinity comes from R.W. Connell's gender order theory, which recognizes multiple masculinities that vary across time, culture, and individual, is defined as the practice that legitimizes men's dominant position in society and justifies the subordination of the common male population and women and other marginalized ways of being a man. So in some capacity, we are putting our heel under the female because of this hegemonic masculinity behavior. Oh my God. I want an example. He's going to hopefully give us one.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, he'll still keep being a twat and not say anything.
There we go.
Masculinity that is narrow, but not specifically toxic masculinity. Traditional masculinity ideology describes some of what toxic masculinity is, but does not describe it specifically enough, and encompasses other things that would muddy the waters. Not to mention the fact that it is not immediately positioned as a negative in its wording. Also, jargon terms...
yes, it is.
How's the word toxic not a negative? I don't understand.
Well, was he referring to toxic or was he referring to hegemonic?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's rewind that.
I don't know.
He's not focused.
Let's try this again.
Masculinity ideology describes some of what toxic masculinity is, but does not describe it specifically enough, and encompasses other things that would muddy the waters. Not to mention the fact that it is not immediately positioned as a negative in its wording. Also, jargon...
It's toxic.
Yeah, he's talking about traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the label on the screen. He's talking about traditional masculinity,
Yeah,
whatever that means.
Okay, well, sorry, my brain just...
But now that there's traditional masculinity, I want to know which tradition, which culture, and what would be modern masculinity.
I think he's saying why he's not
on
using
that?
traditional. I think he's explaining why he's not using traditional or the other word. I forgot.
Or,
I just gonna call it hierarchy.
Or probably just mash everything together into one, which the worst thing that you can do.
Yeah, he's just playing smart. It's like, oh, you have traditional.
Well,
oh, you have
his voice is
typical
so quiet,
homage.
too. I'm going to talk to you guys about toxic masculinity and why it's been... Like, whoa, speak up a little bit?
Well, why toxic masculinity? Why it's bad? Okay.
I have the volume all the way up. So, yeah, I'm turning subtitles on. Holy shit.
He's a bit soft-spoken. Yeah, I know. It's a problem. Anyway, let's go.
Terms that require a second definition just to understand the meaning of one of the words do not lend themselves to educating the masses. They are more helpful in academic settings. Furthermore, again, even this academic term would eventually be rejected by the same people who reject the term patriarchy. Some attempts to use a different term are meant in good faith as a means of making it more palatable, though that seems an unlikely result, and some attempts are made in bad faith in hopes of removing discussion about toxic masculinity altogether.
So, like you?
I wonder who.
Listing men's achievements is irrelevant because nobody is dismissing said achievements or attacking men.
But But they are.
So
What are
wait
you
a second.
talking about?
If you're not attacking men, what are you attacking?
You're attacking their masculine traits.
Well, no. If it's not an individual man, you're talking about you're attacking the general idea of men. Like what? If you're attacking the general idea of men, I don't give a shit. Go. I could attack the general idea of women all my days, and no one's going to care. Because I'm not specifically saying this woman is bad. I'm just saying female behavior where you slap your kids is bad. That's a bad, toxic, feminine behavior. Like, you're right. I agree with you. It's like, thank you. Like, we could all agree that's hitting a kid is bad. It's like, yes, but there are situations.
Thank you for common sense.
Where you might want to hit your kid. There might be a good reason.
Yeah, there are times where the child like literally, crosses the line.
Yeah.
Too far.
Violence is not completely unjustified. There are reasons for violence. So it exists.
What are you supposed to do when your kid's a bully? You're just going to sit there and watch it?
Yeah. What do you do? It's a hard thing for a parent to figure out, but how to deal with
Just tell them, I understand. It's okay. Keep slapping.
Yeah. If you do this.
Oh, my son's in a gang? That's okay.
Oh, God.
That's okay. He was going to church. The last
I've seen that. These parents don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It amazes me sometimes.
All right, here we go. Toxic femininity. If you're going to do masculinity, why not femininity? Okay, here we go. Fair is fair.
What about toxic femininity? The early feminist movement wrote a lot about what we might now call toxic femininity, meaning the results of society placing a great deal of pressure on women to look and behave in a similarly idealized way. Example, eating disorders. You can't fool me. I'm a man who goes his own way. And
Wait
a minute.
That was it?
That's it?
What? Huh? What?
So women.
Wait, what?
Some women have body issues, and they eat a certain way to get those visual looks going.
This just proves he doesn't know shit about what he's talking about.
But wait, Smudge.
No,
Smudge.
I think at this point, toxic femininity is the SJWs.
Yeah. No, but Smudge.
Yeah.
Was he saying that? Oh my God, I can't even process what he was saying. So was he saying that women just having a good body image is toxic or not toxic? I wasn't understanding what he meant by that.
Well, apparently, when we talk about toxic masculinity, there's behaviors of men which are bad to themselves as well as the society as a whole. So I'm assuming that concept can be translatable to women who have bad body image and they get shamed into being thin or whatever. So that would be negative to them because they're hurting themselves, apparently.
But that extends to men too.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's not specific.
It's not specific to any gender at all.
Yeah, seriously, people just look at you and you're like, dude, you're fat. Like, you should probably lose some weight. Here's a salad. Seriously, drink some water. What about females that play the psychological game? Are we not?
Oh yeah, they're the most vicious.
Well, it is a video on male toxic behavior, so I don't mind that he's not talking about it, but to just limit it to female body image is like, really? That's it?
Yeah.
This is so stupid. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, I wouldn't have brought it up if you were just going to strictly talk about... and again, it's like, just define the words, make your argument, and then address the possible negative responses that you might get for your video.
Yeah.
And I say negative in quotation marks.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
and the fact that the term toxic masculinity has a qualifier, toxic, is evidence in and of itself that those who use the term either in academic settings or in conversation do not believe all masculinity is toxic.
That is
Yes,
so
they do.
They do.
That is such a retarded quote. What the fuck was that? No,
okay.
what's that? What did he like say? Oh, because toxic is used in like there's like a quality of toxic that means people who use it don't mean all men are toxic. It's like no, they do though.
Well,
There
They very much
are
do.
women who will go out of their way to make it seem like it is all men.
well, he's
Some
using.
of them don't care. They will just straight up say all men are toxic.
He's making a logical argument from semantics,
Yeah.
so that
That is a very common quote.
if you are using an adjective to describe a word or to modify a word, therefore the word also exists without the modifier. You're like, yes, but
Okay.
when you're talking about
technically.
individual people who use the term, you're then using a blanket statement saying because they use the term, that means they also think of men as also men. You're like, sure, logically speaking, but are they saying something logically? Are they thinking logically when they use that term? It's up to them. I don't know. We have to ask them. So
But they're not.
These are-
over the years, that word has been getting worse and worse and worse, and that's why you have this weird woke culture now.
It's like I said in the beginning. It's like toxic masculinity means if you don't submit to everything we say, you're toxic. If you don't do what we want you to do, if you don't agree with anything we say, you're toxic.
Anyway.
That's that.
here
Yeah,
is
I even extend it to eventually we're gonna just castrate all men. Why not?
well, no, we have to address specific statements by individuals. We can't just.
I know.
Yeah.
That's fair. I know.
I don't like
Yeah,
the
fair
logical
enough.
word game he's playing. I just point to an individual who said the thing, and we'll look at them ourselves. That'll be great. So, I don't like logic deduction via words. It doesn't mean anything. It's just words.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, here's some super chats and donations. Here's Fran Mataraki. Stop pulling words out of your booty hole, cuck boy. It ain't our fault your wife gets visited by Mr. Ghetto Gaggers every night. All right.
What?
Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh.
It seems the body image problems stem from immaturity. I'm a grown-ass adult, and I don't need movies and magazines to tell me how I should look. Nobody held a gun to my head when I joined a gym. I wanted to be healthy. Well, that's your own behavior, and we're talking about toxic femininity, where this is a problem with all women, apparently. So other women are shaming other women to look a certain way? I don't know. I really don't know.
They do this all the time, though. Like,
Yeah, but he barely addressed it. He just mentioned it. You're like,
I know.
does that mean certain girls influence other girls? Is it passive? I don't know.
yeah, it's just the things that he's not saying is really like what irks me a little bit. Just like this is a very complex situation where you have to really discuss both sides, and he just wants to discuss one side in particular.
Which is fine, but to bring it up and just mention that is just sort of, whoa, where that, why? And then you just change his topic again. So anyway, one more, and we'll get back to the video.
Yeah.
You see, because it has a qualifier, it means it's not anti-masculinity. Yeah, say the words vile Jewry and see what the reaction is. I fucking dare you, this guy, to say it. Okay, well. He's making the argument that because it's a modifier, therefore the noun exists in these people's minds as a neutral term. So.
Such a dumb fucking word.
This is
Anyway.
Because that's
That's
how
fucking-
words work. Men who believe this are new male beta
Just because that's the way words work does not mean that's how people work. Anyway.
male soy cuck. Please say this or some variant of this in the comments if you want to expose yourself and prove toxic masculinity definite.
All right, yeah, we'll do.
So if we call you a name, therefore we're toxically masculine? Really? That's it? That's all it takes?
Yeah.
Really? I'm a
There
very
you go.
masculine
That's
man.
his clap.
Okay.
So name calling makes you toxically
Thank
masculine.
you.
All right.
That's his clap.
Ladies, if you want to hit me up, I'm gonna leave a nasty comment on his video.
yeah. It's
So-
just How about you not be a fucking snowflake and take it like a man?
Whoa,
Thank you very
whoa. It's been toxic, yeah? You can't say this, my impudent. don't know what the fuck I'm
Yeah,
saying.
any women
yeah, no,
who
that's-
any women who disagrees with him is a toxic male.
I'm assuming he got that on other videos. And he's been listening to it all this time.
Oh no.
That's what's funny.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
you're never
his fucking-
you're never gonna know. And then like, what about people from outside of America, different cultures? Like, okay.
Like me. Like moi.
I mean,
Hello.
I
That's
doubt
the
that
thing.
happened.
People don't care what other cultures think of this shit.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Like, that's his trap. That's basically, like, literally word for word. It's like, oh, if you say I'm wrong, or that I'm an idiot, or a cuck, which he is, it's like, then you're toxic, and you just proved me right. That's such as, like, yeah.
Even though I have the evidence to back it up.
Is it?
No, it's
I
toxic
don't know.
evidence.
Let me ask you guys. The guy that
Oh, fuck you,
dismisses
toxic
opinion,
evidence.
isn't that toxic male behavior?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't actually use these words, so we don't care to think that way.
Evidence.
So it's all up in the air. We're like, yeah, no, I have no idea.
Yeah, who the hell cares? Moving on.
Don't leave a comment, Smud. He's gonna call you a toxic male.
I don't
One-on-one.
think there's
Oh, sure.
there's any, well, I've done that before. I think he's blocked me on Twitter as well as YouTube. So
With how many times you've covered him? Probably at this point.
yeah, so,
Oh, because you're so hateful, Smud. You're a toxic male.
yeah, right.
Smud the toxic male calling people stupid bitches.
Yeah.
No, only the stupid
Oppression,
bitches.
patriarchy.
I only call the stupid bitches stupid bitches. That's how. And you know what? They like it.
And they like
And they like.
Yeah, that's because it's coming from a man.
I don't know. That's just how it goes.
Could you imagine Renegade Cut? Like, with his voice, it's just like, hey, you stupid
Smud is
bitch.
more renegade than Renegade Cut.
Renegade Cut.
Anyway, let's get back to his shield, where he protects himself from swear words.
Exist. The point of toxic masculinity is that it makes men see anything less than the aggressive, uncaring ideal of masculinity as worthless and the subject of ridicule, thus putting unnecessary pressure on men to perform this version of masculinity. If you want to prove toxic masculinity exists, please go ahead and say this, as it is the most blatant example and proof of toxic masculinity. The policing of what is and is not properly masculine. All caught up?
Oh,
Excellent.
good job.
Let's talk about Conan the Barbarian. In Conan the Barbarian, young Conan's parents are slaughtered by the forces of Thulsa Doom. Conan becomes a slave, but his strenuous physical exercise eventually transforms himself into Arnold Schwarzenegger. He becomes a gladiator, then a thief, and then exacts revenge on Thulsa Doom and his serpent cult. Conan was not born violent, but he was taught by his father that the only thing he can trust is his sword, and the circumstances of his life, a system of enslavement, hardened him and made him the violent barbarian. Men are not born with toxic attitudes or born violent. They are taught by others explicitly, or taught implicitly through social interactions with other men that express this narrow form of masculinity. These social systems are not literally pushing the wheel of pain endlessly until it makes you hard and unfeeling, but, well, it's a pretty solid metaphor, right? Conan had no choice but to push the wheel, and exist in this strict hierarchical system. He did not choose this, and the system predated himself. Most people are not slaves, but all exist within vertical hierarchies that do us a lot of damage, and much like Conan, we have no choice but to participate in them.
So let me see if I got this straight. Conan the Barbarian was one of the few kids that could spin that wheel for years and years to become extremely tough and strong, taught by his dad to protect himself and believe only in his tools, like a sword, to survive, to become a king. Yeah. And
That's toxic, according.
This is a bad thing? How is this a bad thing?
How is this toxic? He just became a warrior.
We're talking about a damn movie. What the hell?
Yeah, but everything we're being shown is that this is his hard life. Yeah, it's hard. You're right. And in order to survive in this hard life, he had to do these things. This is the growth of this character. You're like, yeah, that's what happened. How is that bad?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this reminds me of This reminds me of a conversation with a guy, and he just tells, like, we talked about, like, you know, sexism and all that shit, and then he used an example from fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I shit you not. I was like, what
all
the
things,
The
really?
comedy show?
I swear to God, he used Brooklyn Nine-Nine as, like, I told him it's a fictional comedy show. I was like, but it portrayed it because it exists. I was like, that's Brooklyn Nine-Nine, though. Why did you use Brooklyn Nine-Nine? That, yeah, now it's reminding me of that.
It's this thing where it's like, it's okay. It's a movie, but also it's not really toxic masculinity now, is it?
No, he became a warrior because of his upbringing. That's it. That's not necessarily toxic.
Yeah, he wants to save people. I assume he does, but it's not like he's killing women or something.
No.
He's Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Zingy, or whatever the fuck. Who knows?
All right, here is.
Why is his video? Why is his video purple or pink? Like,
he does that all the time. That's his motif.
I guess because it's.
I thought that was only a special for Black Panther. I didn't realize he did that for every video.
Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh God.
Here is. I don't know if I read this before, but Proud Toxic Man. Thank you. Many of these galaxy brains won't ever call bad behaviors done by women toxic femininity. Renegade seems like the type of male feminist who would take up Amber Heard's abuse and excuse it on the patriarchy. You know what? Renegade Cut would probably have this elaborate conversation in his head, and then he'd reference a bunch of people from the '60s in a book, and make a 15-minute video about it, probably. You know.
Yeah, see, this main character from this zombie movie exhibited toxic masculinity, so that's why Johnny Depp deserves to be a hit.
He just decapitated a zombie. What a toxic son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, but that was just so weird for him to just jump from, you know, real events to a fictional movie.
Well,
did he even use a real event?
Not yet. No.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he just said words.
Yes. We're still
used
waiting.
Big words and then said, "Oh, disagree? You're toxic."
Well, even
call me out. You're toxic.
Well, even within the context of the Conan movie, those are all good things. Like what he showed us, those were all like stretching his muscles to the limit for 20 years or whatever he was doing on that grinder to make him into big buff man. It was like, that's a good thing. It's painful, looks bad. That's a good thing. His father teaching him how to only trust himself and his tools. It's like, yeah, it's a good thing. It's a harsh world out there. Go for it. So
but he seems to make it seem like this is just like the male pattern on like all guys pressure other guys to be the same, and it's just. He mentioned there's also women too. You have a mother.
Yeah, he mentioned he was a product of his environment. It's like, yeah, you're right, he was, and that's a good thing.
That's true.
He needs to be tough.
It's natural. That tends to happen.
Yeah. So all this is neither good nor bad. This is just the story, and he's doing everything. He's out of all those kids that were along that wheel, he's the only one who survived it, or the other kids went away, or I don't know. So we assume he's the only one left doing it. So.
Oh, hold on. Isn't there like the whole women like feminist quote is like trust no man, like be independent as fuck. It's like, okay, is that toxic?
No, because patriarchy, right?
That's apparently that's patriarchy, according to Renegade.
I mean, this is just a theory. I'm not gonna like put words in this guy's mouth, but like I feel like because Arnold Schwarzenegger like cheated on his wife or something, that's why he doesn't like him, and so he used this movie as an example of like toxic masculinity or whatever. I could be wrong. I don't want to assume shit. I'm just.
I think you're like 90% probability right. You know.
Well, let's keep going.
It's so weird.
Francis Ford Coppola. So Renegade Cut missed the fact that Conan was taught to be violent because the world was violent. and his survival necessitated him being violent. He doesn't understand that the world is hard and that it often necessitates toughness, physical and mental. Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
So there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing actually. There's more good in that origin story of Conan than bad, if bad at all, because we are shown that he survived. How he got from A to B. That's a good thing.
I mean, he lost his parents. That's not good necessarily.
Oh, yeah,
No, it's just.
But like, I see your point.
there's pain and suffering through the process. Sure.
It's just that.
Yeah.
No, but it's just that these soy boys only see it as toxic is because they're all sitting comfortably in their AC controlled room with their nice little desktop chair or whatever. That's why they see it as toxic.
Yeah.
Because they don't know that the world is harsh. That before society, before all of these structural buildings, or even after the apocalypse, that like shit is gonna go haywire.
Yeah. It's like, it reminds me of this like fucking video. This video like it says why people outside of America are nicer, and then right after watching this video, I see a guy beating another guy up with a pipe and crack his head open, and I'm like, well,
No.
and I'm like, oh well, guess I'm just gonna drive around that.
Oh boy.
Like yeah. Like I don't know how Renegade Cut would react on seeing that. He'd probably just go and just like, that's toxic, and then get his head cracked open with him.
So he hasn't proven to us that Conan is actually some bad guy. And in fact, it's the opposite. So a bizarre way of arguing with fictitious media and then showing this is toxically masculine. You're like, how? Anyway.
In this iconic scene, Conan is asked what is best in life.
To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
What Conan is describing here actually fits quite well with the description of the values of toxic masculinity.
Are you out of your damn minds? A barbarian.
That is a bold claim. That
Conan the Barbarian is the... Let me just rewind that. What the hell did he say?
oh no.
Actually fits quite well the description of the values of toxic masculinity. To see your enemies driven before you and hear women cry out.
Like, damn. Save the women, destroy your enemies.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. I've lost the plot. I really don't know.
No.
How's that toxic though?
Anything resembling violence is toxic. Even if
so saving women is toxic? But that's not a bad thing, right? That's what's so weird about this
like
double speak.
Spider-Man saves Mary Jane. It's like, you motherfucker. You piece of shit. How fucking dare you?
You know. I always say there are lessons to be learned in stories. There's the actual entertainment value of romance or the drama, like buddy cop stories, or I don't know, superhero comic stuff. And then there's a lesson, the ethical reason why they're fighting, what they learned as a result of changing and growing and getting stronger. It's not, hey, when Conan says this, that's a bad thing. And you're like, what? How is it bad? It's fun. It's funny. It's entertaining. It's like, no. This is what it means to be a toxic male. You're like, what? How?
You just tell him go to bed.
He's a barbarian. He's a guy who goes around trying to get revenge.
I mean, I was assuming he's saying it's a good thing, but he says it's toxic masculinity, so I'm like,
to him, it's a great
bad
thing.
Then?
He's asked what's the best thing in life, and he just described the best thing in life is being doing all these things to your enemies and getting women that are crying, and you're like, yeah. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, freedom. That's toxic.
Like we're not actually thinking, it'd be really great if we all started raiding cities and just went on this rampage throughout North America and just went all over the country. No one is going to do that. No one's going to start performing heists and stealing women and killing people. Like, no one's going to do that.
That would be great, though. Huh?
Well,
That would be kind of cool.
like, I'm just trying to.
I know.
Is he trying to make a relative
I know, on a
argument?
serious note.
Is he trying to make like a modern day argument? Yeah, this is horrible. No one would ever do this today. It's like, yeah.
Yes, we
Most
live in a
guys,
civilized nation.
Within the context
guys
of
just want to.
Okay.
within the
They
context
just
of
want
the
to get a
film.
job that pays well and just go golfing.
Well, yeah, but within the context of the film,
And
which he
just some
should be
limitation.
arguing, he says this is a good thing. You're like, yes, it is a good thing. He is in charge. He is the story-driven guy. He's the main character. That's the thing we focus on. And the guy who's alive, I don't care if he's a good guy or a bad guy, to him, this is the right way to go. And that's it.
Well, that's why I'm stumped. He says this is a great value of toxic masculinity. What?
Yeah. I want that now.
I
What
don't.
do you mean? Wait, so
Like a
Rose saving Finn from sacrificing himself and also nearly killing him. Yeah.
She was not saving him. She was just trying to kill him. That's the only way it makes sense.
She was.
Like, imagine a line from
things you love.
from a military movie where your leader or your commander is telling you to shoot first. Don't think about it. Just aim and fire and kill everyone in front of you. Like, that would be not the best lesson, but probably it's a good lesson. Maybe he learned it that way. Who knows? And
Not a very good ROA, but
and
sure.
Renegade Cut, when you go, this is a great example of what it means to be toxically masculine. You're like, being on a battlefield? What are you talking about? It's war. It's death. It's kill or be killed. What are you talking? Like, that's the point. It's this childish reaction to, well, from my perspective, war is bad. It's like, yes, but when you're in the war, you gotta live. You gotta survive.
You gotta do whatever it takes.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Yeah. No.
And the sad thing is that there's actually videos out there saying that shit.
Anyway,
Oh,
let's just.
I'm not surprised.
Toxic masculinity. Crush your enemies. Alright, so aggression. A component of toxic masculinity is the expectation that men, real men, are strong. Not only physically strong like Conan, but emotionally strong. However, in this narrow version of masculinity, emotionally strong means unemotional.
No, it doesn't.
No.
No, it just means being firm.
No, that if you're unemotional, you would be what is it? A psychopath or a sociopath?
We're talking
I think
about.
I always get it mixed up.
We're talking
I think
about the acting range
Like
of a young
unemotional.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know how much range for emotion he has aside from screaming and yelling at people.
Well, I know. But again, he's trying to put fiction into reality, so it's like, okay, if you're unemotional, I would assume you're crazy because you can't feel anything.
Yeah.
Does he not know what that means?
Apparently not.
Conan is emotional as fuck. Like, you see it. Like, there's a lot of ambition, there's a lot of passion in what he does.
Yeah, the thing is, if you're going to be a warrior, you have to keep your emotions in check. There's almost no time for your emotions, really.
You have to control it.
But yeah, like you said, he gets emotional. There are times when it's just too much. Yes, guys break down. It happens. But he's suggesting that it never happens. And that's what I have a problem with. Oh no, this is bad. This is a bad video. Oh boy.
Emotion becomes incompatible with being strong.
Really? So when a soccer player scores a goal and he jumps around like a monkey, and all his friends jump and kiss him and hug him, that's not being emotional. Are they being rational there? I don't think so.
Extremely rational.
That's not even
Yeah,
emotional. That's just hype.
It's rational jumping.
It's rational jumping.
He did the mathematics.
I'm purely logical in my angle of my incidents when I cause the ball to spin on a semi-axis at a 43-degree angle, causing the ball to get the goal. I am so brilliant. Look at me,
And I
my
jumped at a
genius
360
brain.
angle.
I shall now jump and down like a monkey. Yeah, okay.
I showed.
Because that is what winners do.
Audience expect that's the authenticity. I shall jump 360 degrees and hop around repetitively, and audience will cheer. Sherlock Holmes style of fucking.
So what happens if you break your knee and you start crying?
Oh no!
I
I,
don't-
must react by weeping.
Have you guys ever seen other fellows at the gym? They're, I wouldn't say they're stoic by any means. They're serious about working out, but they're passionate about working out. So maybe they're
So was Arnold, yeah.
yeah, maybe they're a bit more
Look at my muscles.
yeah, maybe they're a bit more professional and serious so that they aren't like crying, but they love it. They're like, "Yeah, this feels good." They get a endorphin hit for doing it. It's very emotional. They cry sometimes. They're working out so much.
They cry.
Yeah, they cry. They sweat. They hurt. I mean, when you're talking about working out, it's not like some non-physical endeavor. It's almost purely physical.
Especially if you're not used to it. You know, because
Being
your
strong-
muscles get torn.
Emotion becomes incompatible with being strong. I can't even, like, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
It's not even toxic masculinity.
So what does that even mean? Does that mean women aren't strong then? Because they're always emotional?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the strange, like, ever see any athlete when they score a goal or finish their race, they are just crying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anger is considered an exception to the rule or not labeled an emotion at all.
Who's saying this? Who is saying
Wait a minute,
anger is
hold
not an
on.
emotion?
Yeah, I've never heard that. I don't know.
Anger is an emotion.
Very emotional.
What was his point, though? Oh, boy.
Apparently, that
There's no point.
anger, if it is an emotion, it's okay. But if it,
So that's a contradiction.
Wait, hold on.
I don't get it.
Wait a minute. So he thinks... Oh, boy. Okay, so he thinks that the only emotion that men are okay with is anger. Is that what he's saying?
Apparently,
I think like that toxic man.
Okay, there's plenty
Whatever
of
toxic man
films.
is.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's plenty of films and teachers out there that try to teach you to control your anger. Right? You can't let your anger. It's this thing where it's like you can't let your emotions take over you. You have to be in control of your emotions, especially in the battlefield. This is really retarded for him to think this.
Or focus your anger on the enemy or whatever.
Sure, focus your anger.
we talk
I mean, it
about
depends, I guess. Yeah.
when we watch fighting movies, like boxing movies. One of the main things to be a better boxer, if there's any feelings you have, is anger. Get angry at your opponent. Hype yourself up. Put all your aggression into fighting your opponent. So
Sure, but that's not in every case, though, would it?
well, this is specific to boxing. I don't know about other sports, but you're talking about competitive sports where you're fighting someone else, like judo or some sort of matchup.
All right.
You have to
Yeah,
put
okay.
energy.
But even that, they tell you. Yeah, adrenaline and everything. But even with that, they tell you like, hey, no, control your anger. Be angry and focus your anger on the enemy. But don't let anger control you. If that makes sense.
All right.
Conan understandably grieves the loss of his love interest. Another character claims that Conan cannot cry, so he will cry for him. In this narrow version of masculinity, Conan's unemotional response to the loss of his romantic partner is seen as noble, even though it benefits no one, least of all Conan, to suppress his feelings. In general, women live...
Or maybe because Arnold couldn't cry on cue.
Arnold's just like, Arnold, cry. He's like, no!
I can't do it! It's too
I
much!
can't do it!
Too much emotion. Too much emotion.
It's kind of like The Rock. Like, he can't cry either. Like, the best you could get is like one single teardrop, maybe.
No, The Rock's done it a little better.
Even then, it's like, what's wrong with not crying? Why does a guy have to cry all the time?
Yeah, like...
You know, like...
Arnold's like, okay, we gotta get an agent. It's like, hey, you, cry for Arnold. So, okay.
What does he gain? what does he gain by crying? That's what I want to know. Like, what's the point?
Nothing. That's the point.
I'm gonna be like a devil's advocate. Kill me, but like I think he means like, oh, sometimes you can't bottle up your grief, or else it'll disperse or explode or whatever the fuck.
But
I don't know.
The thing is, you're still feeling pain, even if you don't cry. You still feel the pain. It's just you just don't cry. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, but isn't he on a mission of revenge? Isn't he trying to go kill someone?
Yes.
So
Yes.
maybe he has some priorities that don't involve him stopping for tears. He's like, oh, one pleasurable thing is out of my life. Back to the revenge game. And that's actually that would fuel his revenge. You know, he's even more angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's trying to apply this to like men who exhibit this behavior or whatever, and I just think that's not true at all. Like, I like to use John Marston because he doesn't cry at all, but he still feels sad. He still feels pain.
Yeah,
he's happy when he's reunited with his wife. He doesn't cry at all, though. He doesn't need to. He doesn't get anything out of that.
He has to have feels, or else he's toxic.
He's a toxic piece of shit. Yeah.
Why are you crying, you motherfucker? I'm sorry.
I was going to say earlier, so I can imagine being a test at an acting school. If you can cry on cue faster than Arnold Schwarzenegger, you got the part. You get an A.
So anyway,
there's nothing wrong with crying, but there's nothing wrong with not crying either.
So regardless, women live longer than men. You're like, okay.
Why? Why is he bringing this?
Don't even ask.
Men die faster, so that's toxic.
It's Renegade Cut. He's just that dumb.
Right. The funny thing is, because like, yeah, men value women's lives. They find them precious, while they're more expendable. Right? Or like, rather, like sacrifice. Like they can sacrifice their lives for the women.
Oh God, maybe he'll make that dumbass argument. Because women live longer, so if a woman dies sooner than a man, that's toxic.
Oh God, no! I'm sorry, no.
I don't think so.
All right, sorry. I don't mean to get carried away, but oh boy, this is such a bad video.
All right.
Women live longer than men. Scientists have tried to determine why this is for a long time. There are a lot of factors that play into this, and I will leave a link in the description for further reading, but relevant to the topic today, one factor that causes men bodily harm is stress. According to a study from last year, work stress is 6 times more likely to kill men than women, despite being otherwise healthy. Why is this? Well, everyone puts pressure on themselves, but men are told by society that being strong and not expressing your feelings in a healthy way are both positive traits. In truth, keeping your feelings inside causes added stress. Toxic masculinity can be harmful to women if men are given the impression that aggression is a positive, but it is also harmful.
Okay, if you're a bodybuilder or a guy of that size, you are already stressed. You are already stressing your body. So I mean, if you're a barbarian in those periods and something bad happens to you, it's like, guess what? I got to survive. I got other things to do aside from crying. This is...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
All he's saying are men have more stress. It's like, thanks.
He's talking about physical stress, like, I mean, because men usually do more physical activities, I guess.
Like whatever you're doing right now.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm just eating nuts. That's all.
Okay.
That's a lot of stress.
Sounds like you were scrubbing something. I was like, what the hell's happening?
It's my mic.
So
It's rubbish.
I think he's talking about the mental stress as well, but
Well, stress is
he didn't
stress.
really, he didn't really clarify that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is like he doesn't know. He says science doesn't know, so there's no chance that he doesn't know, and he's trying to make a correlation. You're like, no, just stop. just stop.
Maybe he has a degree in that area. Who knows?
God.
I
know why men
no,
live shorter
no,
lifespans than women. I just can't explain to you scientifically how that works. Like, okay.
I mean, unless he talks about like men like game ending themselves.
Well, no, I just don't like this. I don't
Sure,
like
but-
these stupid like science
Yeah.
doesn't have an answer. But here's my guess. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Who cares?
Yeah,
Shut up.
like
Of all the people, you're
I'd
the
rather hear
last
from a
guy.
scientist than exactly.
Like he even says the links in the description for this information. So it's like that's great, but there's no answer.
Like, link in the description. It's like, okay, bye. Fuck
Like
this
he
video.
read some papers or whatever, and I couldn't find an answer. It's like, then why did you give us a link?
Oh, and I just don't understand. So what? Toxic masculinity? What are you talking about? Like the female stays at home, and the guy has to provide all of the income,
The problem
you
here,
know, the house.
yeah, but the problem here is he just jumped topics to women live longer, and he thinks because of stress, and because there's so much stress being a male, and we're taught to be painful or negatively emotioned or whatever. Therefore, we're bad. It's like, wait a second, just slow down here. You just said
that's why I'm trying to figure out his mindset, like how he processes the information. Like
stress is bad, therefore men die. You're like, what? Okay.
And that's a form of toxic masculinity, or like the harms of toxic masculinity. I'm not understanding.
There is absolutely no. He even said himself, "There's no science to explain."
No
this.
science.
It's
Yeah.
all
No,
stress.
he mentioned a study in the link. Why doesn't he just quote that? At least. Like, at least that would be something.
He probably did quote it. There's no answer. What?
There's no answer. That's the actual quote.
Is this just the basic gist of Renegade Cut? Like, this is true because I say so.
Yeah, sometimes. I don't know. I haven't seen every video, so just remembering from what he did from Black Panther. I don't even know what the topic was. What was it?
I'm grateful for missing out on that one, at least.
All right.
Yeah.
It's about slavery or something.
We
I
are
don't know.
half done, and I'm just lost now because he changed topics to stress. So let's keep going.
To men who are given the impression that expressing your feelings in a healthy manner is weak. This pressure
It can be. It depends on the emotion and how you do it, and why.
to be strong all the time can cause adverse health effects.
What exactly is unhealthy about being strong?
Well, what is strong?
Good question. What does he think it is? I have no idea. All I know is if I am showing to others I'm weak, that means I'm weak. There's something wrong with me. I don't get anything by showcasing I'm weak. In fact, that would make me want to become strong or stronger, or at least not weak. So why would I show that to people? Am I like trying to dodge the draft? Like what am I doing where that could benefit me? What is the problem here?
The only thing that comes to mind is that you want help. The thing is that if you want to improve yourself, you want help, there are places to go for that.
Sure.
It starts with you wanting to do that.
And if that's the case, that's more of an issue of maturity and saying, I need assistance. Who do I ask? Where do I go? And that's a matter of information gathering and picking up the phone and saying, hey, I have a problem. Where do I go? That's nothing to do with strength or weakness. That's just, I have a problem.
That's self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I need to get my insurance for my car. Who do I call? How does that work?
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. So this is basic stuff. This has nothing to do with masculinity. It's just, he thinks men are just not taught to express emotions. It's like, what? No. Because his wife died or something.
It's unhealthy or something. Like there's plenty of ways to get your emotions out there or outlets that you need.
We are under the context.
For example,
of the
working
Conan
out.
Movie. Yeah, working out is great. Doesn't solve all your problems, but solves a lot. And for everything else, I would say meditation, but that's just my experience.
Meditation, playing games, cooking.
Cooking's great.
Plenty of activities.
Eating, sleeping,
talking to people.
Exercise, and good mental health are the four main pillars of anything. Just whatever you do in life. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, here we go. Adverse health effects. Here we go. Let's list these adverse health effects.
It's not the only reason there is a gap in mortality between men and women.
No. It's not even a reason. There is no answer. Science has not concluded on this, and neither have you. So you cannot just start making associations.
Science has no answer, but this is one of the reasons.
Apparently,
it's not the only reason.
Apparently, because science hasn't given an answer, you know what's also a factor of men living shorter lives? Oreo cookies. Orangutans and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters. Those are the three reasons why men are living shorter lives. Just in case you guys don't know what the hell I'm talking about, because we have no idea what Renegade Cut is talking about.
Yeah, trying to pretend like...
I was gonna say, what the hell does Stay Puft have to do with this?
List random, just list random shit. That's good enough as any reason.
People want to reenact Jackie Chan stunts. Wow, yeah, that's gonna kill a lot of men.
No big deal.
Toxic. But yeah, I love that. It's like science doesn't have an answer, and therefore that's the answer.
But I do. It's like, no, you're wrong.
Of all people, you do not.
Stress is bad, except when it's good. You're like,
when?
Working out is bad, but it causes stress. It's like, that's the point. You're stressing your muscles.
I can't fathom how he put this video together. Because he had to edit this.
He read that link in the description to science, which had no answer. So he must know things.
Okay.
Anyway,
Tyler
Preston, don't fall for this trap. What trap? Whenever feminists talk about men needing to express their emotions, they're only talking about doing it in a way they approve of. Remember the male tears mug? I don't know, because I don't know what the hell they're talking about. When they say healthy emotional response, I'm like, what exactly are you, like, crying? I cry all the time when I watch
a pillow.
When I read a book or a really great drama, I cry. Why not? Of course, that's the point. It's cathartic. That's one of the major points of media, is to feel something and express something out of that cathartic experience. So, this is why we use media, to feel better, to get over something, to realize life is not so bad, to lose yourself in another world and go, hey, let's compare my life to that world, and go, it's different. Isn't that interesting? When you have a step back from your reality and assess what's happening. That's all media helps you do. And through that, you can express yourself emotionally or whatever. So, great stuff.
Go ahead and cry.
Yeah, and I like, no one wants grown men in public to cry. If there's something wrong with them,
women are turned off by that.
Lots of people
wants anyone to cry in public.
Yeah,
period.
There's reasons why, because you're distracting and bothering other people. It's the same when women.
Unless it's kinky.
Yeah, well, when women cry in public, it's like, oh my god, what the hell's going on? Like, someone, like, deal with that, because that's really
Someone deal with that.
Oh my god.
I'm having a
Sounds
perfectly
bad.
good,
Well,
quiet evening by myself at this bar, and then I don't know why she's bawling her eyes out.
That's what I say to whenever a baby cries. It's just like, someone deal with that thing, please.
Yeah, a baby I can
Just shoot
forgive,
somebody.
but it's still freaking annoying. Like babies in movie theaters just don't belong. Like I don't care who you are, you just do not. You do not deserve to be in a movie theater with a. There's no reason to bring a baby into a movie theater. Absolutely not.
Yeah, Sigma male.
yes.
If you have a baby, your life is over. Okay.
This is exactly how I felt when I saw the guy beating him up with a pipe. I was like, damn, that's bad. Someone deal with that.
Damn.
I deal with it. So.
I don't want to get my head crushed by a pipe. Thank you.
Well, you know what you should do? You should go over there and cry. And maybe he'll stop.
Oh. No, he'd probably just kill me.
He just
Immediately.
beat the shit out of you too. Look, at some point, a man is gonna cry. All right. After they've done that, there's really no real reason to do it again. You know.
I mean, the guy who got
something.
I mean, the guy who got beaten up, he was alive, so I bet he cried. And someone dealt with that eventually.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Let's saunter on down. Back to the video.
But it appears
Yes.
one contributing factor. So what else does Conan say? See them driven before you. Okay, so pride? There is nothing about being a man that means having to see oneself as larger than life. But toxic masculinity makes it difficult to feel secure about being merely average when our vertical hierarchies demand control and competition.
I have no idea
And the last thing Conan says?
what he's talking about.
Hear the lamentations of the women. Okay, so let's talk about that.
Oh, of course.
Conan, encountering women, mindlessly calls them sluts. In another scene, Conan is gifted a woman who clearly does not want to have sex with Conan. Toxic masculinity tells men that they should be prepared for sex at any time, and that it is only natural to believe oneself entitled to the attention of women.
Oh my god, maybe back then, but this is not now. What the fuck are you talking about?
Is toxic masculinity just anything that is bad?
No, it's anything that's
this
Conan.
point- Anything that's Conan.
I don't even think Conan ever slept with any of these women, did they?
I don't
think
know.
so.
He's married, right? So I mean, I don't know. Did he? That's all I'm asking.
I don't think so.
Even
Yeah,
then, I
no,
don't. What
Toxic-
happens in a fictional movie is not happening in reality.
Toxic
Yeah, too.
virginity. You never had sex.
And if that
Some-
shit happened back in the day, it's like it's over now. All right.
Yeah.
Prepared for sex, really? Guys are just walking around just waiting for a woman just to come over and suck their dick or something.
Conan, apparently. Toxic Conan.
Yeah, I'm sure all those soldiers in Iraq were just waiting for sex like it's nothing.
Oh god, and what if he does use that? What if he does use that? Oh, dear.
Oh, no.
Oh my.
I know.
All of the homeless men.
You the torch to clay clip. Oh my.
Come on, does this make any sense to you?
I'm
gonna say no.
I want to say no.
How did we get to, because okay, we are stuck on a quote from Conan the fucking Barbarian, and he's going, you know what, guys, this is the best example of toxic masculinity. I go, wait, dude, stop.
He's a barbarian, for fuck's sake.
I can't even laugh. This is so.
Smut is just in awe.
You're not drinking, are you, Smud?
Well, I wish I had something stronger than what I got, but
Ah,
I'm
You
just.
knew this day was coming. Why wouldn't you prepare for that?
Yeah, but this is retarded. This is like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I watched a movie once in the 80s. It reminds me of a social movement in the 2020s about men being weird. Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a barbarian in this movie. Therefore, I'll equate the two. You're like, no, it's dumb.
I'm telling you, he just hates Arnold for some reason.
I don't
Whatever
know,
that may be.
I don't know what his mind is like. I have no idea.
If you want to use fiction to explain reality, okay, fine. But using just one movie to explain the entire male species, I don't know.
Yeah, but Conan the Barbarian?
Yeah, I know. This is ridiculous. This is too absurd.
You may as well pick Transformers. I'd be just as like, what the hell are you talking about? Oh my
Optimus
god.
is
Anyway,
toxic.
Alex Halo, hey. Shiro is so toxic he got a wife summoned to him. In one of the storylines of Fate. Yes, that is true.
Damn, Shiro.
Anyway, we're more than half done, so that's good.
The toxic script says that if men think about sex all the time, then that is the natural course they must take.
Okay, men don't
Toxic
do
script.
that all the time. It's
They
genetic.
Don't, you numbnut.
It's genetic.
This is what I was talking about. They're not.
Yeah, we don't do it all the time, but we have this thing called testosterone that courses through our veins till we die. And we're always ready to go. Should the need arise, if, I don't know, some scenario, if you're going to copulate, men have that capacity. That's just the way we're built. It's not toxic. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just the way nature is.
It's just yeah,
Toxic
exactly.
nature.
Why the human
Toxic
population has existed for almost 2,000 years and counting, if commies don't win.
And I will say this, when you do become an adult and you are able to attract the other species or the other sex, as it were, your life changes. You're like, wait a second, I do this and women like me? I do these lists of things, get a car, get a house, look good, smell good, yada, 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 yada. You know, do all these things. Women become attracted to me. That's life-changing to many men. Because they figure out the secret of happiness, or at least a part of happiness.
Yep.
So, it's not...
Well, and I think it fluctuates differently, right?
Oh, it's
Like
different.
some men...
Yeah, it's different for everyone, I'm sure. But once you
Yeah.
figure out how to make someone else happy, they know that you are making their life better. Those are the things families are based on. That's what society becomes based on. So,
Yeah, that's family values.
so even if you thinking about sex is bad all the time, you know that woman you just made friends with, she's thinking about sex a lot now that you're in her life. And if you're not good at sex or making her happy in any capacity, not just sex, you might want to think about sex. You might want to think about cooking and having a nice car to deliver groceries or however you get your groceries. All the bare necessities for living with someone and keeping them happy and together. So thinking about sex inherently is not bad, nor is it inherently good until you have a very demanding female partner who you better get good at one of those things, you know, food, cooking, sex, sleeping, whatever works for her.
All of the above.
I would recommend all of the above.
You
Yes.
stole my joke.
Sorry.
It's fine. It still works.
You
Well,
toxic.
I don't mean to be a toxic male. That's
Yeah,
why.
oddly enough, because Alex Halo keeps talking about Fate, Shiro is actually a very good cook. And
Funny enough.
in traditional Japanese form, they're all very stuck up. Not stuck up. They're very prudish. So they don't address their emotions very well. But he knows that Sakura comes to him every day because of cooking. So does his teacher every day. So does his summoned waifu. so does the female princess of the school. I don't know what you call Rin
It's
Tosaka.
literally half the entire cast.
Yeah, all the women are after him. So
So Persona 5, but backwards.
Well,
Persona 5.
Persona
really?
is its own thing. I don't know how that works. It's magical.
I mean, well, just what I'm referencing is that in Persona 5, you can end up dating all the girls at once if you want, and they all just fucking
Right.
they kick your ass
Yeah.
for like, cheating on all of them with each other.
Whereas in the Fate universe, it's a whole storyline, and you could just reset the game and then do the second storyline, and then do it again, do a third story. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just always find it fascinating that, it's just thinking about sex all the time, yet what is feminism promoting all the time? Sex.
All kinds of sex.
Yeah. I'm just baffled sometimes. It's like, okay.
Women like sex, guys. It's not, some alien
Oh,
masculine
yes.
thing. Like male have
Except in Denmark.
well, males
Yeah.
aren't the monopoly on sex. Women like it too. So
Yeah.
anyway, Punished Bearserker. Hey, Bearserker. Conan's family was butchered before him and was forced to breed whether he wanted to or not between daily life and death put fights. Women most affected. Oh.
Yeah, it's always the case, isn't it?
Oh.
In that case, it was actually true, kinda.
Anyway.
Yeah, but if he was forced to breed, then it's like they're both victims, both he and the women.
Yes.
Anyway,
Right, then what the fuck?
back to arguing that Conan Barbarian is a toxic male. Take it away, Renegade Cut.
And that men must be extremely forward about sex. That sex is an inevitability, mandatory, and can skirt around the borders of consent.
No one is saying this.
You can imagine
Whoa, hold
how
on. Wait, he mentioned consent. What was... Sorry, he got interrupted a little bit.
Because men are so sexual, they don't have to bother courting a woman?
Yes, they do.
Who says this?
There's laws. There's laws now.
Yeah, thank God for that.
And no guy really thinks of like... Because I know he's going to say, oh, men are just rapists. No.
Yeah,
This...
he even
here's this-
said there's a... Go ahead.
No. Sorry, you go first.
Yeah, he even said there's a toxic script. I want that. I want to read that shit. Like, it's in the toxic script that sex is a mandatory thing. It's like, oh, there's a script.
No fathers are teaching their sons to rape women. It doesn't... I'm sorry. There's no...
Yeah, that's just fucking stupid.
My father taught me to respect women and to not, that's the thing. You shouldn't have to teach your kids
You could
not to
argue.
rape.
You could argue this is sort of this weird macho high school talk from jocks or whatever, but that's the stuff that you joke about at like movies from like the 70s and 80s that were bad stereotypes, and I think most people agree with this concept, even if they were in fact jocks. Maybe certain parts of America still do that. I don't know. Like football culture, I have no idea. I'm just guessing. But this is childish thinking. This is adolescent nonsense. The real world is very, very clear. The laws, the dating game, it's crystal clear. Maybe not crystal, but pretty clear.
Yeah, there's a reason the men have to be forward because women aren't going to do it.
Women are
Women
never,
expect men to make the first move.
unless you live in Montreal and it's freaking cold outside, and the women just demand some attention from fresh blood that just walked in the door.
I need warmth.
A breathing male who's single. Let me go talk to him. Unless you're in Montreal, guys, it's not going to happen anywhere else in the world. Okay.
A breathing male.
Yeah.
He can be.
Breathe.
Look, the
That's
guy
not-
has to pay.
Yeah, that's what you have to do to be eligible. Breathe.
Breathe harder.
Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, sure, men don't want to be approached by like ugly men, okay.
This is why.
But if you're an attractive guy, you're good looking, a woman's into you, trust me, she's gonna want you to make the first move.
This is why you go to Montreal, because the women there, pretty good, pretty attractive.
As opposed
Really?
to Denmark. As opposed to Denmark.
Well,
I'm
Denmark.
putting that on my bucket list.
Denmark has some nice females. I just don't have experience with Denmark yet.
Yeah, but the whole thing is because females can do whatever they want to the guy, and they can get away with it.
That's-
Like I think it was Raging Golden Eagle that made the video a long while ago that sums it up perfectly.
Yeah.
And there's another server I'm in that we just don't let that shit go. we joke about that shit all day and night. Well, not literally, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, sexual aggression. Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
no, this is
Again,
where it's gonna get good.
Men are not rapists.
Feel about
Just want to clarify, it's guys just go in hoping to get with a girl, but they're not gonna do their best to chain them up and lock them in their basement or whatever. No, only psychos do that. It's frowned upon, actually. Don't you
Pretty
know?
much.
A big shocker, right? Anyway,
Okay.
sorry.
Back to Conan.
is sexual aggression, especially when it is justified as boys will be boys.
No, that has no one. No.
What?
What?
I never
what
heard
does
that.
What does that have to do with it?
Boys don't like girls, okay? Until they finally become a teenager and they become a man.
And vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah. This is retarded. An oversimplification of all
Yeah,
men, basically.
The statement of boys will be boys holds no water here.
Nope.
I literally heard boys will be toys. I was like, what?
No, it's boys will be boys because that's such a simplistic. That's such a simplistic statement. That's just like when you talk about like young kids, like boys will be boys. That holds no water when it's a conversation about legitimately mature, well, usually mature men, adult men. It's like it's just it's not compatible with the argument.
Yeah, you can't just call men little kids.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a joke, but nope.
Yeah, but in a serious,
if somebody does something wrong, trust me, they're not saying boys are boys. No, that's murder, that's rape, that's committing a felony or whatever. Nobody says this.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to get to that, especially when it's something on the level of legitimate crime. It's like you can't just wave it off as boys will be boys. No, if it's something that serious, you can't just like bypass it with a statement as simple as that.
Exactly. Yeah. The hell do you think cops are doing then?
Cops.
Right now, that's a whole other can of worms, apparently.
Oh yeah, cops are bad. Defund
Yeah, the whole defund the police, which I think someone said earlier. That's not what they actually. That's not what the movement actually is. Is it? Like, it's not to literally defund the police. It's just.
But it is.
Well, for these nut jobs, it is.
They want to.
Yeah.
They want to repurpose the money for other social programs, which is just. It's just redistribution of funds. It's just stupid. Anyway, let's get back to the topic.
Under this narrow scope, if violence is an indicator of power, then violence against women is acceptable if it's in service of men's so-called natural desires.
No,
Who's saying this?
no.
Again, if you're talking about Conan specifically, he was doing it against his will. Regardless.
And yes, comparing it to the modern day is retarded. Okay, if you make a girl cry, all the dude bros suddenly come out and say, "Hey, yo, bro, that's not cool. You made her cry, man. It's not cool." Yeah. Nobody wants to hurt women.
Yeah, even the dudes know that when shit goes wrong, it's like their heart's in the right place.
Dude, if I'm gonna fight a couple, I'm gonna fight the boyfriend, not the girl. Even if the girl tries to get in the way, I'm not touching her. I just want to fight your boyfriend.
Yeah, if the dude is the problem, he's the one that's gonna get the beating.
Fuck, even Johnny Depp, he gets shit on, even though he's the victim, not the aggressor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
Oh, boy.
is part of the whole problem that's going on in that scenario, because it's the fact that he didn't do anything.
Exactly.
In
I
his
really
case.
detest using this movie to explain reality. I really do. We're talking about a different era in history.
Exactly, in history
And a
in general.
fictional movie.
Thousands upon thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Well, not that many thousands, but just thousands enough where it's like it's separated enough from modern society where it's like there's no comparison anyway, regardless of how you look at it.
It's tribal. It's completely tribalistic and barbarian.
I'm surprised he hasn't
Yes.
used Terminator as a reason.
Don't speak too soon. He might use it in the next minute. You know, from what I know of Renegade Cut, you never know. It's like I assume that's how it works.
Apparently, yeah.
Ginger Man, you're giving me some hints. I'm feeling.
I mean, I don't know. Most of the time,
Terminator's a toxic male piece of shit.
you never know. You never know with these kinds of idiotic peoples. They bring up those kinds of like stupid comparisons that make no sense or are completely irrelevant. It just happens.
I wonder if you even watched the movie, Conan specifically. You would. I feel like all of those arguments would get disproven if you just watched that movie. Why are you using this for your video?
I don't know. He's Renegade Cut. I don't know.
Because it's Renegade Cut. Yeah.
All right.
He's an anomaly. No one knows.
Let us continue.
According to the American Psychiatric Association, more than any biological reason, these cultural lessons are what link men to aggression and violence. This leaves boys and men at disproportionate risk for school discipline, academic challenges, health disparities, and substance abuse. Men are also overrepresented in prisons and are significantly more likely to...
Oh my god.
Again, different point in history.
Okay, well, no.
Simple.
He's using the basic understanding of our biology of men because we're more aggressive. Therefore, we're overrepresented. It's like, no. Men being aggressive more often than other people, like women, do aggressive things which are violent in nature, and they get sent to prison. They're not overrepresented.
Well, what does he mean by what are we overrepresented in?
It's as if we
what
need
way?
some 50% binary of sex to say, well, if there's only a better number of women in prison or less men, therefore there would be a proper representation of convicts. You're like, no, dude, it's called crime.
Oh god, imagine his like. Well, the government is sexist against men because 90% of the prisons is from men.
Yeah, we need more women convicts. That's the problem.
More women, arrest more women.
We need to build more female prisons. That's
well, that's the thing. I would agree, considering what women have done. But
now,
oh yeah.
I can't even track this retardation. I really can't.
That bitch is crying in the middle of the street. Arrest her.
Yeah, these hoes on OnlyFans. We need to put them in jail. Oh, this is so weird.
The connection makes no sense. Like barbaric tribes where forced breeding exists, where like constant danger of like killing each other. Like this is why American psychiatric help causes you to hurt yourself and not do well in academies and go to prison. And it's like, fuck off, Renegade. Eat an ass. Maybe you'll learn something.
all right.
Toxic masculinity. What's the solution? We need more women in jail.
He'd have to be good with the ladies to eat ass, though.
All right.
The
Anyway.
Yeah.
yeah, my bad.
commit violent crimes than women. Again, this is not because violence is natural for men, but because of this social script of toxic masculinity.
Oh, wait.
What social script?
Didn't you just
Yeah,
say
he
it was
said it again.
natural? Men were naturally aggressive, but that's okay. It's really the script from Conan.
It's the script.
But didn't he say toxic masculinity is not associated to violence? What did he say in the beginning of the video?
Dude,
It's Renegade Cut. You don't have to explain it.
Oh my Jesus! Oh. I'm being serious. He said fucking toxic script twice. I
Okay.
want to see that fucking
okay,
script.
so
I wanna read that.
men are naturally aggressive, but because of the nature of see, he's using those words I don't like. Nature, the nature of this thing we invented just right now. Therefore, because men are more aggressive, they're gonna fight each other. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Keep going.
Also, because of the competitive nature of toxic masculinity, aggression between men is a contributing factor to men being at greater risk of being the victims of violent crime as well. You know?
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay. No. So he says, "Oh, this isn't because of the nature of men, but this is attributed to men. But it's not the nature of men. It's because of a script, which I still want to fucking read."
Got the
What
script.
the fuck? It's like you got this.
But okay, Smud, did you track any of that? Because my brain right now, it just
I got the
brain
gist of what he was
hurts.
saying. The words he used were just dumb. Like the natural script of toxic masculinity. I was just like,
If it's natural,
is
then
it
it's
something
not.
that's natural or is it learned? Which one is it?
I don't know.
He's kind of renegade. Who knows?
And then he said something about victims. So he said these men that participate in these competitive acts, violent acts, become victims. Well, duh. Like if I'm looking for a fight and I lose the fight, like of course I'm gonna. That's on me. That's not on anybody else.
Well, he said about most of the violence of these scenarios involve men. It's like that's right, because they're naturally aggressive. It's like fine, that's a possible reason, but there's plenty of stories of men shooting women and children, and so it's really specific on the scenario. You could argue gang violence is mostly male related, and then you'd have to look at why that is.
Sure, but that's because men are involved in the gangs. I don't know how I'm supposed to track that. Like,
well, you have to argue where do they come from, what kind of families do they come from, what are they taught, who teaches them, and then you could look at broken families or families without men, and you could say, well, the lack of aggression of adult males scaring the shit out of these males to not go into gangs could contribute to them not going into gangs. So,
and that's what's always interesting is I'm surprised he hasn't talked about a son that has a single mother.
well,
These single mothers.
you would have to actually do the research and go, okay, why are males getting killed by other males in society? What's the cause? Like, not as a whole. Look at the individual people and say, okay, who was this person? Why did someone go out? Like a basic question you'd ask at a trial. Why did you shoot him? He's part of a gang. Okay, what does that mean? What about that gang that ordered you to do that? Why did they ask you to do that? So there has to
boys
be
be boys.
because we're programmed to just not like them.
whatever.
boys
Yeah,
shoot.
you'd have to figure that out, and then you analyze the family they come from, the school they go to, whether it's the same neighborhood, are they across town? What's the big deal here? Are these guys doing illegal activities?
I imagine the area that they live in.
Yeah, are they
Is
just
that a low income area? Is that a high income area?
are they just showing off how strong they are? Or do they have business deals they screwed? Like, what's the story? There's always a story with every crime in the city. So
They could be on drugs. You know?
There could be all kinds of reasons.
They weren't even.
Which has nothing to do with aggression. We have no idea. So this is like, oh, you know, people are aggressive and mostly are males because of hormones and the nature of toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
They're taught to be aggressive, therefore they are. Like, what? No. I'm sure there are extenuating circumstances to everything. So just get the details, sir.
Yeah.
This broad brush understanding of a term being applied to violence is just like, nope. Sorry.
I've given up on Renegade Cut.
Can you imagine a scientist going, well, you know what? Men are born aggressive and they're taught to be aggressive. Therefore, that's why they all kill each other in the crime stats. You're like, what? Excuse me? That's your reasoning? That's what you're giving
maybe
me?
back in the caveman area.
We're a bunch of crazy,
look
violent
at the time
idiots.
we live in now.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of crazy people that kill each other because we're aggressive. It's like, no. No one goes out of their way to kill people, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, look at it. I'm sorry. The times we live in now is more civilized. You know, more people, more men are more interested in pursuing their own goals or pursuing their family. You know, like I want to travel the world. That's my goal. I don't really want to fight anybody. I don't want to kill anybody. Most guys don't really want to kill anybody. You know,
it's a fun time in the world of.
You go, yeah. These men, they go in these boxing or UFC. They're not going there just to kill somebody. They're going in there to fight.
Yeah,
competitive. You know.
Whether
it's for title, whatever for money, doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Aggression between men is a contributing factor to men being at greater risk of being the victims of violent crime as well. You know how Conan the Barbarian is pretty good and the sequel, Conan the Destroyer, is pretty bad? Well, saying the first one is good and the second one needs some work does not mean someone hates the Conan movies. Comparatively, saying some aspects of what we consider masculinity are positive and some aspects...
What?
What's going on?
What happened?
Oh, okay, we're fine.
I don't know.
Never mind.
Of what we masculinity are negative does not mean that someone hates men. If you can understand and accept someone liking Conan the Barbarian but not Conan the Destroyer, you can understand someone appreciating men but not like men abusing women.
Okay. So he just described liking a movie in a series of or a sequel to another movie and disliking that movie to to the made up concept of toxic masculinity and not saying, oh, you just hate men because you're using this term because you can.
He's just using movie critique with this. What does movie critique have to do with toxic masculinity?
People criticize toxic masculinity. You know?
Here's the thing: you can like a movie that is objectively bad. Like, oh, I like this movie, but it's shit. But like,
yeah,
I don't think you can attribute that to like, you know, a man who's a rapist. It's like, I like him, but he raped a woman. I like him though. Nice guy. Boys be boys.
Or vice versa, you know. I don't like this guy, but man, I really liked how he raped that woman. This is wow. I mean, what kind of mentality is that? Like,
very interesting. I love it.
Jesus Christ.
This is like saying, I like the law, but certain parts of the law I don't like.
I like the law, but I also don't like the law.
Your
mind.
But that doesn't
age of consent. I wish that would stop being a thing.
But that doesn't mean I hate the entire law.
Hey, it started California. Who knows?
I
live in California, for fuck's sake. I'm gonna die.
I'm
Oh, boy,
trying
get
to
out
hold
of
this
there.
idea in my head. I'm just having a problem.
I'm trying.
Don't try, Smud. It doesn't make any sense.
Because he said this before, like 10 minutes ago, about you can you can still like men, and some men aren't toxic, so therefore not all men are toxic, or something like that. I was like, okay, fine, whatever.
That's okay.
Okay,
First
I
of all,
have
that's
I have a
behavior,
theory.
and then there has to be consistency. Like you want a person to always do the right thing, not do the wrong thing. You can't just switch that around. That doesn't make any sense. It'd be like, oh, I like steak. I just didn't like the mashed potatoes that came with it. As equivalent to like, oh, I like this person, even after he raped somebody.
It's just
He's a good guy.
He's using a movie or a movie comparison to this general behavior of hurting people bad. It's like, yeah, but can't you just say all movies I dislike are bad, and all forms of violence pretty much are bad? Just like, why even do this analogy? Why even make this comparison? Just say violence is bad.
I bet this guy. I might be wrong, but I bet this guy's like one of the guys who's like believe all women are queens or some shit.
I don't know.
Well, he does.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to know.
I don't know Renegade Cut that well. It's like first time I heard of him, I thought it was some Mass Effect fucking channel because of Renegade.
Oh, really?
Turns out,
Ha!
yeah.
I wish.
Renegade.
That kind of gave me the same impression too, but eventually I realized I was like, no.
Yeah, then I saw a YouTube recommend. It's like Trump shit. It's like,
Well,
that's
like,
well,
okay.
isn't
Mass
this
Effect. That's not Mass
I was
Effect.
okay? That makes no. Well, I was gonna ask, isn't this the same guy that you guys covered where he talked about how Ghostbusters is just good, women are just good.
I wasn't.
Wait, the original or 2016?
No, the reboot. I'm talking about the reboot.
Oh well, I don't know if Renegade.
I think it was
Cut
him.
ever did a
Yeah,
video of it.
I don't remember
It was
though.
Renegade Cut.
Honestly, a lot of this shit, it's
Just blends together.
well, no,
Yeah,
it doesn't.
no,
It actually gets lost. Like you just forget it because it's so obscure and dumb. Like to make these
people
analogies,
blend in.
you have to.
That's how it blends together. It's all dumb.
Like, you imagine making this analogy in your head and going, watching the second Conan movie is like disliking toxic masculinity people. You're like,
No.
while still liking the first Conan movie and still liking men. You're like, what? What are you talking about?
That makes no sense.
Anyway, Dilematicus, hey. We used to just say facets of being a man, but using the word toxic as the broad way they do is an attack against all men. I don't know anymore. I'm a bit lost.
I would agree because it's just again, it's getting worse. Women will literally say all men are toxic.
Yeah.
And that's why it confuses me that
I have
Renegade
heard.
Cut
I haven't heard that. I know what you're talking about. I've heard all men are
I saw
dogs
posts of that on fucking Twitter.
because
Even though I don't have a Twitter, thank God.
men pursue women, and they see that as like, oh, all you want is sex. It's like, well, that's one of the reasons. That's one of our drives, but we don't just go willy nilly. We don't just go for anyone, and maybe we're not very good at it, and we need to learn that. But essentially, yeah, men do want sex the same way women want sex, just in a different capacity.
Yeah, how about I call you stupid bitch and we'll call it a night? But
well,
yeah,
sometimes these women they feel like they have to say yes, and it's like if a guy approaches you, wants to spend the night with you, you do realize you can say no, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
the guy will walk away.
Yeah, no, there are women who's like basically like, no, any form of masculinity is just toxic.
They
Well,
can't.
that's
They can't
my
be.
concern.
Yeah, no, they can't ever be consistent or be a firm of what they want to happen. So that's why you have some types that are like hard to catch. So they'll say no, but they really wanted you to say they really wanted you to pursue them more for some reason. This is kind of weird game that they always play, and guys are supposed to somehow magically know all of this.
It's all Morse code.
It's all Morse code, yeah.
Yeah, it's called playing hard to get.
All
That
right,
shuffling from before, that was Morse code.
let's keep going.
So, where did all of this come from? If toxic masculinity is such a destructive
Fuck all.
force, then how did it propagate itself? Part of what we have come to
What the hell was that?
I don't know. I don't
Guy
know.
just
Transition into reality.
throwing a girl on a bed and
Is that-
screaming at her like, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah,
Well, is that not Renegade Cut?
That's no.
I actually don't
he's
know
bald.
I think he's. Okay, I mean, I don't know what maybe this was when he had hair, or
Maybe
he has
that's
a
not
wig.
his
I don't
hair.
know.
Maybe he stole it.
Anyway,
Toxically.
Stole it.
let's just keep going.
He stole the
Yeah,
man's
this
hair.
is just.
call toxic
This is
masculinity
pointless.
is the belief that physical strength separates men from women and therefore makes men superior, or at least superior at things that matter.
yeah, like strength. We know that. It's not a question.
Okay. Yeah, that's biology though. Like the average man is physically stronger than the average woman. That's
Yeah. Remember it. There was a man, right, who transitioned into a woman, and he was competing in all of these
Oh
fights
yeah, I
with,
heard of that.
yeah, the women competition, and he was destroying all these women in a fight. It's like, really? Biology? I mean, it seems like men are stronger. I don't know what to
Well,
tell
yeah.
you.
What was it? That one time that what was it? Trans woman was in the Olympics or something,
Oh yeah, and he just
Those
beat all these
Olympics,
women.
and then South Park made fun of him by putting in Randy Savage.
Yeah,
That was
like
funny.
even in the military, I think a lot of women fail the requirements for
Yeah, I
whatever
heard-
they have.
Yeah, there was this one footage where like it shows like the woman who's doing like I think it's like a marathon or like you have to run with all the equipment to be a medical combat medic. And like
Okay.
in the footage, she's struggling as fuck towards the end, and like there's this brief little like moment where you see a guy who's just fucking casually walking to the finish, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! It's like, oh no! It's like that guy just fucking. They couldn't cut that part out.
So I don't know.
It was
I don't know what he means here in regards to things that matter, but he could be arguing things that matter to men because they are in fact more physically strong. So yes, I would rather watch men's sports than women's sports on that factor. But
Yeah.
I think so would
From that
women.
perspective, yeah.
Women who like sports go, yeah, I'd rather watch the men because it's more exciting.
Ultimately, yeah.
if I want to see a cat fight, I'll just go to a different platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what he means by things that matter.
Okay.
I thought we were talking about the Olympics. I was gonna say like a cat fight at the Olympics. What?
Jeez.
No, I just misunderstood. My bad.
Let's go.
There's a reason why I said different platform.
Yeah.
Believe this often deflect by calling women their partners, but still believe that the workforce and important positions should be dominated.
No one cares. No one thinks
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's actually just not between men and women. That's between everyone. That's the
Nope.
problem with projects with like partners or people's like, oh god, should I be the one in charge?
That's just like
Yeah.
a general person
Yeah.
problem.
This is
Happens to me all the fucking time. Like I just think it's like, oh, should I be the one monitoring this shit, or do I just sit on the back?
important positions should be dominated by men. Like no one cares. No one's
No,
like, no one goes, hey,
Yeah, I've-
if only the board of directors was all men. It's like, why?
No, I've
¿Por
been
qué?
in jobs where the woman, owns the the company or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in general. Just
they
in
do a good
general. What's
job.
the point?
Blasphemy.
Yeah, they do a good.
Killer.
They
Right
do,
now.
yeah. But
Yeah,
Take over.
yeah. I'm just casually mopping the floor and doing what's expected of me, because that's the
Yep.
job. I'm there to get money. I really don't care about all of this high school shit that I got over ever since.
The toxic script does not approve.
Jesus Christ, man! I just want to work my hours and then go home so that I can play video games.
dude, I could be gaming. I fucking hate that meme though. It's like.
All right, let's go.
Dominated by this hierarchy, most historians and experts say, began to happen when human beings started to raise livestock. The first known patriarchies were nomadic herding societies, meaning the first depended on raising livestock, and that male privilege and women's oppression reached their height in advanced agrarian societies that depended heavily on both human labor and animal breeding. Vertical hierarchies of economy.
So, guys,
Really?
when we discovered animal husbandry, men were like in charge of shit. You're like, okay, thanks.
How does animal husbandry have to do with it?
Hierarchies existed just by ecosystem. Like, yeah, there are animals that are just simply, at a higher level than other animals. Like, you take that in an when you take biology and they teach you the whole ecosystem thing, and they make you like a whole, the vertical hierarchy shit, and they show you like, okay, this this plant, it gets eaten by this animal, and then the predator eats that prey, then a bigger predator eats that predator. It's like, yeah, that's hierarchy. I guess nature's fucking toxic. What the fuck, nature?
Well, it is.
I hate you.
know?
I hate you.
We need more ladybugs in our ecosystem because
Yeah,
there's too many male
I
animals.
guess.
Bug lives matter.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Oh no. Oh
No,
god.
let's not make any reference to that, please. I've had enough of that for for this year.
Well, at least right now we're on the topic of actual mankind village behavior, growing and whatever, as opposed to Conan the Barbarian. So it's better than nothing.
He's still holding on to tribe.
But this doesn't happen though. Like, not anymore.
Vertical
How is
hierarchies.
it privilege?
Like hell.
What the hell?
Even in medieval times.
What the hell is a horizontal hierarchy? Can anyone tell me?
Horizontal.
Yeah, saying
diagonal hierarchy?
It's like saying vertical hierarchy is such a fucking redundancy. It's like, man, he really wants to sound smart without actually being smart.
It's like I have a vertical file system. It's like, yeah.
It's like, thank you. It's like, okay, plant, I want you on the left. Rabbit,
I have a vertical tower.
I'm making it.
Yeah, you see, I have
the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
I have a degree in trigonometry.
I place it vertically on my wall. So you guys started it. I'm just brainstorming at this point. Like, fucking hell.
See, I place it like that because I don't want to oppress women. That's why I did it that way.
I don't want to press the horizontals.
I don't want to oppress. I don't want to oppress the sideways people.
Yeah, the horizontal people.
There's the uprights and there's the sideways.
There's the upright and the sideways.
So wait, what if the sideways crosswalk is vertical? What do we do then?
Shoot him.
It's not accurate anymore.
Fucking heresy, man.
Goes against nature. Fuck you, nature. I hate you.
So toxic.
You're too toxic. I don't want to live with this wife anymore.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
were created by those who hoarded the most wealth. That's not to say that this happened everywhere. Anthropological and historical studies of societies in Africa, pre-Columbian North America, and New Guinea show numerous cultures in which women had not been devalued or pushed down the hierarchy. Matrilineal societies are historically quite common and have included significant female control over land and property. Sexual violence and treatment of women as property were largely unknown in these societies, and historically only increased with the introduction of male dominance, often from outside cultures. Like many societal woes, toxic masculinity has its roots in vertical power structures. Hierarchies that elevate some people, often not based on true merit but pre-existing systems that benefit them, and disenfranchise others often for reasons beyond the control of those disenfranchised. Hierarchies are not held together peacefully, as the circumstances in which they were created and maintained involve the exploitation of those lower on the ladder. Hierarchies are held together
Welcome
by
to
force.
nature.
Capitalism, for example,
At
is
least you finally stopped saying vertical.
Oh boy, all the isms, all the bad words you're not supposed to say.
How did we get from freaking toxic masculinity to capitalism?
Just like how we got from toxic masculinity to Conan. Oh.
I mean, we should have expected a capitalism comment because it's freaking Renegade Cut. But come on, dude.
Well, and Africa too, because we gotta mention Africa.
Did you guys know capitalism is a hierarchy? Guess what, buddy? So is life.
Okay.
That family tree you got in your backyard or wherever the hell. Dad, mom, hierarchy, boom. Kids, they're on the bottom. It's a hierarchy.
Know your place, bitch.
Look. It's capitalism is bad unless women are doing it. All right.
Yes. It was okay. It's okay for Johnny Depp to get beaten up. Just capitalism.
Yeah, capitalism. I was very interested in hearing what he was saying about other cultures. Because what was he saying? He was saying it was some countries were
Saying other cultures
run by women.
At least you stopped calling
Apparently,
hierarchies
he
vertical.
they had a horizontal and then the vertical nation attack.
Not.
Vertical nation, yeah.
They
Hey,
came in. They came in and they made a cross and.
I can see why Renegade Cut Fridays are so infamous now.
And
This guy's a
yeah.
fucking moronic twat. As I said
The
earlier.
vertical and the horizontal like hit one another, and that's how the Christian symbol was created.
Don't know what the fuck you don't you dare.
Oh god!
I don't shove my religion down anyone's throat, but I won't take any bullshit either.
Okay.
on.
Anyway, let's exploit some workers. Okay, let's go. Here we go.
Yeah,
do
what
it.
was this little
maintain
video
ruling
including? That's so
economic
weird.
class that exploits workers. Those who defend these hierarchies claim that they are natural, and that makes them somehow unavoidable.
No one's saying what? No. What do you
No one's talking about. Nobody's talking about this like this, man.
guys? Capitalism is good because it's natural.
Well, here's the thing. Like capitalism, at least, like, it tries to like. Okay, you're judged by your action, the individual. And it depends on, like, say, for example, the market and how well people like it. So basically, as long as you're doing good, delivering good products, you'll find people going to your product. So if that's your exploit, I'll take it. Besides, like, the alternative, systems that, like, basically fail even way more miserably. Like socialism and communism and all that shit.
Also,
But yeah,
the last thing capitalism is natural.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, they're all systems. It's like, here's the thing, because we live in a very civilized society.
We live in a society.
Yeah, kill me. Anyway, that's my fault. Anyway, because like we're civilized, so like we got to make a system that coincides with that. If we like, so what do we do? Like capitalism, socialism is like they're not all perfect. But we look at like, okay, we look at the failures of all, and we see like, okay, socialism clearly does even more fuck ups than capitalism ever does. Socialism and communism. It's like, okay, so far, the best, solution, the best method is capitalism. So far, until we find something else, tisms or whatever the fuck. Capitalism is the best kind of system so far. That's it.
Anyway,
not natural.
Yeah,
let's just.
It's always weird when it comes to men.
Let's just keep going.
Women.
Let's just go. This is dumb. This is.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, Tyler Preston, Yas Queen's Slay, Renegade Cut. Thanks. I took no joy in reading that.
It was pretty close. Especially the whole like old cultures. Horizontal got invaded by vertical, or whatever the fuck he said. I forgot what he said.
Unless if it's like an octagon.
No, that's an anomaly.
No hierarchical system has always existed, which disproves this.
What?
Okay.
What?
Did we miss something? Hold on.
No hierarchical system has always existed.
Except ecosystems. Absolute
Except nature.
All right. Anyway,
yeah.
And even if natural, something being natural does not make it automatically better.
What? What?
Compared to what?
Nobody says this.
Yeah, but compared to what? What is better than something that's natural? Unnatural?
Artificial.
Like, buildings aren't natural, but like they're very beneficial.
I would argue that buildings are better than caves.
Yeah.
Factories are artificial.
Factories.
So that's good. But no, it's killing the planet. So that's bad. And capitalism, right?
Yeah, just throw capitalism in the middle. Yeah.
This is so goddamn. Oh my god! What?
So tribes or people living in their own villages are not good, even though they're natural. I don't know. Anyway, don't worry.
I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
I'm dying.
Indoor living is not natural, but we wouldn't give that up.
What did he say?
What?
I'm sorry. What did he say?
Plumbing?
He said indoor plumbing is not natural, but we wouldn't give that up, would we?
What are you talking about?
We live in a fucking... Oh my god. Renegade. Habibi, what are you doing?
All right. Anyway, I don't know where he's going because I'm lost, but let's...
We'll see, yeah.
It's not a coincidence that those who defend the existence of these hierarchies, whether based in economics, race, gender, etc., are also those who benefit most from them. Hierarchy...
What?
You work more, you benefit more. You son of a bitch.
I don't get it.
Hey, Eric, you work more and you exert more effort, so you get more reward? Fuck you.
This
How
job
dare you?
I'm at pays me, therefore I like it.
How dare you? Toxic.
What? I just don't dude. If you don't like your job,
There's
go
a
elsewhere.
job. Yeah. Even if it pays you very exceptionally well, it's like I just don't like it. You have the option to quit. I don't know. This is so weird.
create incredibly stressful competition, which often guides those in set hierarchies to double down on the worst aspects of the condition that keeps them above others.
Could you please elaborate on what the hell you're talking about?
Provide evidence.
What
in the toxic script.
What is he referring? What's wrong with working at a job?
Patriarchy, capitalism.
What is What is
Sexism.
What is wrong with having an employer? Like, what are you talking about?
Capitalisms.
What if you're your own boss? I don't.
Well, that's
Does he want every? Does he ever? But does he want everyone to be like a street performer or something? They just work for whatever cash that people have on their pockets when they're walking.
I don't
I
know.
don't think he wants anything at this point.
I don't know what he's getting at. It's like, dude, you don't like your job because it reinforces bad stuff. It's just like such as.
I don't know. I guess physical activity.
Hierarchies are
being
bad.
Stressful.
I don't know why they're bad though.
But
because we raised freaking mountain goats or some shit back in the day. Like what are you talking about?
But that's not everybody. Like everybody has a different sense of belonging to a job. You know, people really like working in a restaurant. Some people don't. People like working in slow jobs. Some people don't. It all depends on the individual that gets the job.
Yeah.
That is a big glass of scotch too. I think that guy's a alcoholic. I think he has other problems aside from work. That's at least 4 or 5 ounces of scotch. Holy shit.
That's Scotch hierarchy. That's
Scotch
exploiting him.
The patriarchy of scotches. God damn you, Johnny Walker.
Women, yeah.
Made to oppress bald men. Fucking hell.
In the case of male hierarchy over women, this competition makes men resistant to challenges to masculinity.
How about female hierarchies over men? How about How about people in power over people that aren't in power? Like, what's the difference then?
I'll keep using Johnny Depp and Vic Mignogna. Like, these two people got fucked over.
But what he said something about challenging the system. What?
I don't know.
He wants a communist regime or something?
Yeah, that's
if he starts talking about a horizontal or flat system, I don't know what he's going to jump to, but he has not provided any answers. He's inventing.
Maybe he's a flat earther believer.
Well, no, he's inventing strawmen.
That's why he's a horizontal guy.
And we're just sitting here going, yeah, work is tough, and there's challenges, and there are bad parts of work. It's like, yeah, that's life. What are you talking about? What's the problem?
Yeah, but the counter can be, yeah. You don't like your job or it's stressful. I understand.
I don't.
People like that stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. Let's just keep going.
Thus, told about toxic masculinity and the dangers to both women and themselves.
When men are told about that, we laugh because it's stupid and doesn't exist.
Yes. Oh, think of the women. Think of the. Oh, look at the damage.
The dangers to women about a made-up thing.
Look, you get stressed at your job. That hurts women, okay? You have no emotional support. That really hurts women.
So they create a boogeyman out of the patriarchy, which is a hierarchy in a job, which men are up on top. Unless when there's not men up on top, there's women on top, hurting other women. Wow.
Yeah, Renegade Cut becomes a fucking counselor, and someone goes to him and is like, I'm stressed. Like, stop it. You're hurting women. Okay, sorry.
I did.
They often dismiss said criticisms and engage in the behavior even further.
The behavior of what?
That's rich. The toxic masculinity.
Of doing what?
Whatever the hell that is.
What are you talking about?
No, I know. From Conan the Barbarian, destroying your enemies, saving women, being forced to breed,
not crying.
Yeah, and not crying, being Arnold Schwarzenegger, pretty much in a nutshell.
Yeah, and that's bad. I don't know. But if people say it, and then you get upset, you're just engaging in that behavior further. This is like, also, how am I supposed to prove a negative then?
Yeah, and also trying to call out Renegade Cut. That's also toxic masculinity. That is the absolute definition according to Renegade Cut, telling them that he's a hypocrite.
Yeah. This is. Oh no.
Challenging toxic masculinity can make some men take on even more toxic traits.
What the fuck does what?
How though?
What?
How?
Challenging men on toxic masculinity. Well, for fuck's sake. Well, thank God we don't have Conan Barbarian's civilized fucking nation.
I don't know what he's talking. Like, what does this mean?
Here's the thing, though. This is what's really stupid about it, because he tried to attribute violence to toxic masculinity. So, if you challenge somebody on this idea of toxic masculinity, I think them punching you in the face, or I guess resisting that, would be evidence of your toxic masculinity being a myth. Otherwise, they would have just punched you in the face.
Oh. I'm enlightened.
So to challenge
Renegade Cut is. Sorry.
So to challenge this thing, you have to be more toxic, and he's gonna explain why. It's just like, what the fuck is like? What?
I think he was like, oh, if you challenge that, they'll be more toxic. It's like, okay, what's your solution then?
Yeah, but wouldn't that imply women can also challenge it, and they take on toxic masculinity traits?
Stop the.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Even I guess the LGBT community, right? Because they want to be a man, or they want to stop being a man. So what? Now they're toxic masculinity too?
Because humans in hierarchical systems have been conditioned to be competitive.
Okay, so what's wrong with
life
being
is competitive?
It's
like, be it small or big, everything. A lot of life competitiveness is part of life. Be it a video game, be it a job, be it whatever the fuck.
I'm trying to get a parking space. You're gonna be competitive, trust me.
Yeah. Oh yes.
You do shopping, you're gonna be competitive because there's only so much groceries you can take.
Exactly. And it's even worse when people shit affirmative action was like, oh yeah, we're gonna favor this quote unquote group over you because fuck you, that's why, you toxic Conan. And then everything becomes worse, where it's like, yeah, people who get favored get more spoiled and they fuck up because you just fucked up the competition. What do you want? That's
the weird thing, Renegade Cut. It's like if you're debating or arguing with somebody, isn't that already competitive?
No, he doesn't want the competition. He thinks that's toxic.
You're trying to have. Oh yeah, so
yeah,
his way or the highway, right?
Yeah, if you call him out, it's like, yeah, no. It's like black and white. If you are not with me, you're wrong no matter what.
You're against
me. You're just against me no matter what. Yeah, exactly.
Communism. Let's all favor for it. This is so. What a piece of shit. Honestly, I fucking hate this guy. This guy's such a faggot. I'm sorry. I'm not holding back. This is.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
What does this faggot want? Where's the evidence? Show me the solution to all of the problems that you think exist.
Any problem, to be honest. Yeah, this is the first video I ever reacted to him, and I Jesus Christ, it's infuriating as fuck. The moment he said, "Oh, go ahead, tell me I'm whatever the fuck," that'll prove it that I'm right. It was like, this is the moment I just knew it was like, yeah, this guy's disingenuous as fuck. He's gonna play with every word. Ugh.
If masculinity is what makes them male, and being male is a higher position in the gender hierarchy, then criticism of masculinity feels like an affront and a challenge to said position. Even though
Or they laugh it off because they're the big strong male up on top and they go, ha ha ha, that's funny joke, man. You can't stop me.
They either laugh or they don't give a shit.
They just dismiss you. It's like, oh, that was a joke, right?
Cool. Can I get back to my drink now?
You called me a toxic man, and I'm like, haha, that is funny. You are a funny guy. Comedian, huh?
This reminds me.
I'm not a toxic male. You want to know how you know? Because I'm not drop kicking you in the face right now.
Oh God.
What is the criticism? What is the challenge? What is give me a specific scenario, whatever the frickin' hell you're talking about. You're fighting a goddamn straw man. You're like, look at the straw on this guy's arm. You're like, what the why?
Yeah, how am I supposed to fight the boogeyman?
Yeah.
What is this shit?
criticism and toxic masculinity are intended to help and not hurt men, the criticism is mistakenly perceived as an attack. Even when this criticism is brought up by other men...
Because it usually is, and people have no idea what they're talking about, it sounds retarded. If you have a criticism, it should be well thought out with evidence, and there's a reason, an argument to pull up with it. You don't just go saying, oh, men are up on top, and they're in charge of the businesses, and I got to work beneath them, and I'm a weak woman, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? Then get better. Get better at your job. Be better than the men up on top of you. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, this is not a solution.
Work harder.
This is just pandering.
Get better.
Oh, fuck. Exactly. If you see someone who's better than you, see why he's better. How do you get better? Learn from others. If you need help,
how do you think
take it?
Businesses make money? They outcompete the other businesses. That's it. There's lots of ways to do that. They market more. They have better products. Some months they go without profit, and that's the lifestyle of an entrepreneur, even of a CEO of a business that's already been established. Some months they don't turn a profit. Some years they don't turn a profit. That happened last year to lots of businesses. So it's a gamble. You're fighting. It's competitive, and there's lots of factors against you, like what happened last year. So if this guy thinks that this is all bad, we would not see in this picture. We would not have that lamp. We would not have that fridge. We would not have all these things, all these conveniences, because a bunch of people said, "I can do it better. Let me figure that out how to do so."
Yeah. The tools that gave you your video camera, your AC, your chair, your little desk, your little computer that you could do all of your editing, which I really doubt you do because you don't really think what you say.
I want to know where he gets all these clips. It's just a bunch of clips of men and women arguing. I'm like, what where do you get this shit?
I don't know.
Yeah,
But I just wanted to add one last thing because it's always do we know if this guy supports? And I know. I'm sorry to bring it up, but does he support BLM?
Probably 99%. I think he does. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to assume anything, but if he does, because he seems to have sort of the leftist mindset, is that he will support I want to say militia, where they break down businesses, they ruin businesses, men and women all alike. But we got to fight against the toxic masculinity, right?
Yeah.
Again, not saying that he does.
Well, he is a guy.
It's just always weird.
He is a guy who declares himself an anarchist, so I imagine that would be.
Oh God! Did he really say that?
Oh, yeah, he did. The end of one of his videos, yeah.
Not as a joke, though, right?
No. So anyway, I'm an anarchist. That's how he ends the video. That was that famous video where he talks about being a English teacher in Morocco and South Korea.
What?
No. Well, that explains why Morocco is Morocco. Fucking Morocco.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
but toxic masculinity, right?
Yeah.
Toxic Morocco.
It's almost like I'm a pedo, so I know what pedophilia looks like.
Anyway,
I can only imagine.
Let's just get this over with. This is getting nowhere.
Because men competing against women, but also competing among other men.
No shit.
This is true in other hierarchies as well.
Yeah.
When capitalism is criticized for the disparity between the rich and
Don't
poor,
care.
capitalists counter by demanding even fewer regulations and even more tax cuts for the
No, they
rich,
don't.
thus increasing the disparity between the rich and poor, rather than resolving
No,
it.
that doesn't mean
If the
anything.
hierarchy between men and women is so resistant to change, what can we do to better the situation? Well, the truth is, on an
Nothing.
individual level, power structures like gender hierarchies cannot be dismantled by your individual growth on the subject.
What is a gender
There
hierarchy?
you go.
It's a power struggle. Wow, what does that sound like? Oh,
There
I
you
know.
go.
Marx.
Communism.
Hi, Marx. Hello. Where were
what
you?
the flying hell does
all
that have to
this
do with
time?
male toxicity? I have no idea.
Male toxicity.
So now he's just talking about capitalism. It's like, I don't give a shit. Let's just keep going.
Here's the thing, Renegade. It's like, what are you doing to help the fucking poor?
Nothing, because he's a commie.
Individual work.
Yeah, exactly. Piece of shit.
No. Whenever we can talk about toxic masculinity, we have to bring up capitalism, guys. It's the only way it works.
Ah,
You know what
Okay,
communism
I
brings? Like, capitalism can have like, there are poor people, there are rich people. Communism brings fucking starvation. And what? Communism and fucking socialism. Like starvation, where farms get stripped off completely.
yeah.
But,
Who cares
like-
if some of these corporate businesses open like a whole homeless shelter? Who gives a shit about that? Fucking A, dude.
Let's go.
Yours is important, both to yourself and to those with whom you interact, but it will do nothing to the hierarchy itself.
What if my growth is to be so freaking aggressive I attack the hierarchy in the business or group I'm in?
But that's toxic. Don't.
Why is that not a good thing? I'm getting better. I'm beating them at their own whatever the hierarchy is. I still don't know.
Yeah. Gender hierarchy.
Gender hierarchy.
Wait, is gender hierarchy vertical or is it horizontal? I don't know.
I don't
know. He keeps flip flopping every point. The fucking Two-Face.
First, it's a hierarchy between men and women. Then it's a hierarchy between people who work at a company. Then it's a hierarchy in like rural tribal men and women where the men were in charge of the sheep or some shit. You're like, okay.
And that's why America's still systemically racist after 200 years.
I don't know.
Oh god.
Your personal growth is not the end of toxic masculinity or this hierarchy.
Oh my god, there's no escaping toxic. You
God.
can never escape it.
Yeah, it's bad, and you're never gonna change.
You could become the
So what's the
Buddha,
problem?
and you're still going to be a toxic masculine, guys. You're just going to be.
What?
This is the kind of friend.
Yeah. You're homeless. You can't fight it. Sorry.
This is the kind of friend who's like, hey, I just got a job, or hey, I just got promoted. It's like, oh, are you helping? Did you cure cancer? Well, no.
And you're toxic.
You toxic, masculine, vertical piece of shit.
Masculine.
Yeah. What happens if there's like competitiveness in hospitals? Like, let's see who can cure the most patients. Is that bad?
Well, I just love he has a guy drinking a coffee. The most hipster thing you could do on your freaking video.
Look at that motherfucker drinking coffee, self-improving.
This capitalist dog and the hierarchy of coffee drinkers.
Toxic capitalist dog.
Also,
Plus, he's white. I mean,
support
come
my
on.
Patreon.
Oh, he does have a Patreon, doesn't he?
Of course he does.
They all do.
They all do.
It is education about toxic masculinity and this hierarchy. That's definitely a good thing, but it is the start and not the end of the journey.
What are you talking? What journey?
What? What is?
We're talking about masculinity, you retard. What do you? It's just.
I want to hear it. I want to hear the end. I want to hear what is the end of that journey.
He
Why,
just said
what-
there was no end, though.
Oh wait, there is. There you go.
What is
That's
he
the
on
end.
about?
There will never be an end to the toxic.
Anyway.
Oh, well, guess what?
Whatever.
Hierarchy exists.
Vertical
I don't sound
hierarchy.
discouraging.
Vertical
There
hierarchy.
is some good that can and should be done on the individual level. Some things can be done, like actively pushing back when telling your friends, family, and coworkers when they are engaging in toxic behavior.
Such as...
And
Yeah,
I recommend
go
this
ahead.
wholeheartedly, but that still is not the end of the journey. Combating toxic masculinity is what we can do
Yeah, because
now
nothing is the end
within
of the journey
system
with
in
you
which we
people.
currently exist, and we should. But obviously, the system itself needs to change.
What system? What are you talking about?
Capitalism, dang it.
No, what system? How and why?
Capitalism.
How are you going to do that?
Revolution.
And-
How else? According to this old
What are we
shit
going to? Okay, what are we going to change it into? So you just want communism then?
Yeah, no, this is what happens. Like it happened in Egypt, it's happening in the US currently. Like, oh, just throw a revolution, make shit go chaos.
Yeah, let's
So, like,
just
certain
destroy
people-
everything.
So when they lose everything, they rely on like us. They rely on our system. It's like that's how it fucking works. It's like you can't actually have a legit some form of legit revolution because usually people aren't fucking nuts.
you
Unfortunately for
Yeah, you can't introduce a little anarchy.
yeah, it's like you have to introduce. You have to just go to this guy like, hey, capitalisms. They're vertical. Have you ever considered the horizontal one? Oh, horizontal, and then everything just goes to shit.
Yeah.
Because of course it does.
Don't worry, guys. Trust us. We know what we're doing.
Except if we don't.
Science.
Fucking hell.
Powerful, far-reaching structures and attitudes can only be dismantled or at least diminished through powerful, far-reaching movements.
There are people
like
wearing
direct
ski
action,
masks.
drastically changing
What the
education
fuck?
on the matter taught.
Okay, direct action implies physical violence.
Yeah, look at them. They're wearing ski masks.
All
for
these
Christ's
guys are waste. Okay, if you think this is activism, you aren't doing shit. You aren't changing a thing. You're stopping traffic at best. You're causing a public disturbance.
People just
Yeah,
go
but you know what's
bananas.
funny too is when the guy or woman that gets fed up decides to, put the car in drive and then hit the gas pedal.
Well,
You know what they do? They get violent.
I'm assuming these people are workers for a company and they're like protesting something. Like that's the only logical reason he'd put something like this in here, unless they're just
You think these guys are workers?
They could
No,
just be
I don't
random
think so.
people for all I know.
Impossible.
Yeah, but if to the point he's trying to make, if he thinks that standing outside and demanding stuff is how you negotiate, you're wrong. This is not how you do negotiations for contracts or better pay or whatever.
Try that in Egypt. You got run over, beaten up by a pipe.
You will get fired instantly. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
We got thousands of other people to hire.
Even with people that part of a union, they're at the negotiating table. This only happens if negotiations are so bad or the results are so bad that the actual workers just do not like the results of those negotiations, and they talk to their leaders, say, listen, you got to go back in there and do it again or we're not going to work. And they're forced to listen to the union. Everyone votes on it again.
Yeah, it's
Like what's an example of that?
There's every year at York University, if not several times a year, the teacher student association or the TAs go on strike. Like every year, it's ridiculous. They always have contract negotiations. I don't know why. I don't know what the details are, but it's like when I was at school at York years and years ago, I was not allowed on campus or not doing anything for 3 months because the TA. I was out. I was without school for like my tuition was like I think refunded, but I wasn't doing anything for 3 months. It was,
okay.
Because
Well,
the strike lasted so long.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous if you still had to pay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that happened, but that was just schooling in Toronto. But there's other jurisdictions that people in acting or part of a group for like telecommunications people. There's all sorts of people for the public transport system. So there's all kinds of these groups of people that negotiate for better pay or better whatever. Happens all the time. And this is not, they can go on strike, but if they block traffic, they are like, that doesn't last very long.
Yeah.
There are special cases where there's like events, like we had a few squares of Toronto blocked off back in 2007 for some sort of, I can't remember what the political event was, but the Prime Minister was in town and a bunch of other, I think it was one of those countries they come to visit, like the I-7 or not the I-7, what the hell's it called? A bunch of other world leaders are together. And they bust in people from the States, and they were like breaking windows and corner stores and what have you. So there were a little bit of hijinks happening. But other than that, like very, very few protests that I can think of. Everything else is at the actual municipal or provincial government buildings. So whether that accomplishes anything, I don't know. But doing this in front of a office of work is not going to do shit. It's a waste of time.
Matter taught early age and working toward changing vertical hierarchies in other aspects of life. The world needs to work toward horizontal leadership.
What the hell is horizontal? Does anyone know what horizontal leadership is?
Wait, he said it? He said horizontal leadership. Oh, God.
The only time I've heard of something like that is one of the jobs I worked at, they have an office space where it's flat. Like there's no offices. It's just a series of long tables. And even the CEO, he's at like one of the tables and everyone else just works wherever they want. So there's no sense of offices. There's no like office room.
I'm sorry, I did not actually think he'd say horizontal leadership or horizontal hierarchy. I was joking about that. Renegade.
What does it mean to have a...
That was a joke.
To have a horizontal leader. Like, what does that even mean? Because
He's
as
on
soon
the
as,
ground
as soon as you say leader, you imply a hierarchy. You have followers.
A horizontal hierarchy.
No, you can't. You have a guy in charge, the leader, and you have the people below him, the followers. It doesn't matter if you draw that left to right or up and down. It's still a hierarchy.
Oh, God.
The leader is in charge, whether you like it or not, Renegade Cut. There's nothing around that. You can't get around that.
Renegade, Habibi, that was like, when I said horizontal, that was a fucking joke. I didn't actually mean that.
Did you just say Habibi?
You know, he can't
Yeah, I
hear you,
know.
right?
Like, he literally said horizontal leadership. I was like, no, that's a joke. I wasn't serious.
Oh,
That was supposed to be just a joke. Why would
So what? Is Joe Biden the horizontal and Donald Trump's like the vertical?
Yeah,
Maybe not.
yeah.
Oh.
I mean the horizontal. You know the thing. Yeah.
What if it's like a triangle? What do we do then?
Nuke the planet. It's
I guess
over.
it's like
Right.
a pyramid scheme, right? Because
Okay.
the top and the bottom.
Oh no. Wouldn't that be vertical hierarchy? If someone like puts. Oh fuck.
I don't know anymore. What if it goes sideways? That's the thing.
It just falls. Oh no. Sorry. Our vertical hierarchy just turned horizontal. God help us all.
All right.
What do we do?
Here is Alex Halo. It means only Marxist at the top and everyone at the bottom. It's
Yep.
still a hierarchy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but that's the acceptable hierarchy.
It's the same damn thing.
Indeed.
Anyway,
Think about it. If it's horizontal, that means everyone is dead and on the ground.
we have a minute and a half, and then we're finally done.
In all forms and eliminate the obsession with competition in order for
The obsession with
Oh yeah. Fuck with that. We'll just, have starvation instead. That's fun. So much fun. Anyway, capitalism.
Yeah, we need competition, guys. I'm sorry. I don't care what your philosophy of economics is. You need to compete with each other. If you don't compete with each other, you have no motivation to do better.
Yeah, it will exist. It's inevitable.
We've tried it. It doesn't work.
Yeah. And when it doesn't work, the damage is too high.
People
Well,
starve.
I guess they wouldn't know that because they want to burn down all of history. Because what does that matter?
I would love to see them make their own commune and go ahead. Live without competition, grow your crops, see how that works out.
Yeah.
See how many
Go build
acres
your
and
own
acres
society.
and acres of farmland and God knows what other stuff you need to survive, like the Amish or whatever. Even if the Amish could be a enclosed society. I don't even know if they are, but like figure that out. Figure out the logistics and do it. Live in your paradise of farming and working.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, let's just
socialism.
have no laws. See how that works out.
Well, I'm sure they'll.
Socialism
I'm,
doesn't
between men and
accept
women.
I'm
laws.
sure they'll have their own set of whatever laws that they invent, but like just basic survival. I'd love to see them live off like basic food.
Yeah, but the problem is, it's like, how are they going to punish those who break the law?
They'll invent the
What
police.
then?
They'll invent the police force. Their little invented town.
Oh,
They'll have to.
Throw an apple at
hypocrites
them.
then.
They'll have a law system.
Oh.
They'll have a police system. They'll have a society like everyone else. It'll be amazing.
Wow.
And then, and only then will we live in a society.
Smart. Here's the thing. Socialism does not accept farms, though.
They don't accept
Usually.
farms.
Usually farms just get fucking stripped away.
Well, there are reasons for that. Why Stalin did that to.
and Abdel Nasser
Well,
in Egypt.
lots of places, yes, the communist
Yeah.
regimes. So, but you still need someone to make the food, or else people starve.
Can I say how I love how you said that? The food.
Food.
It just sounded badass. I don't know.
People gotta eat. That's how it goes. Fran Mataraki, they did that. It was called Chaz, and it went about as well as you'd think. Well, that was more of a joke. I think that was just a weird protest. That wasn't serious.
That was a joke?
That was a joke.
I don't think that's what they were aiming for. It
Well-
just turned out to be a joke.
It was obviously a joke to everyone else.
They were whining and like, oh, we need food, we need water. Could you
You're
help
being
us?
too kind. You're being
You need to
too
wet
kind.
dress.
Anyway,
Many of these hierarchies
Oh,
do completely
excuse
lose
me?
their power, especially since these hierarchies feed into each other. And if you are asking me for an exact plan on how to do this, I hate to disappoint, but I am an educator and not an organizer.
so educate us.
You educated nothing.
So wait a second, guys. Wait. I'm going to teach you calculus, but I'm just an educator, not an organizer. I don't know how to do that.
Fucking idiot!
Hey teacher, I don't know what's the difference between sine and cosine. Can you tell me? Well, son, I'm an educator, but I'm not an organizer, so I can't tell you. What the fuck? Why did I...
Let me tell you.
I could teach you how to do it, but I'm completely unorganized.
It's like, then you're a shit teacher.
What the fuck?
Renegade Cut, you have these aspirations of greatness that just don't seem to fit with reality very well.
Brain is fucking.
I'm a philosopher, but I can't think. It's like, what?
I'm sorry, I've never laughed that hard. Oh my god.
I'm a visionary, but I have no idea what I'm looking at.
visionary, but I'm a visionary, but I'm blind.
I don't know what to think.
I'm a prophet, but I don't know what's coming up next. I can't see the future.
Oh my god.
I'm a painter, but I've never held a paintbrush.
Meds.
Like, just say anything that just doesn't make any sense. I'm a boxer, but I never hit anyone before.
I know. Oh my god, what the hell? Are you off your fucking meds, Renegade Cut?
His brain is
Seems
fucking
like it.
horizontal. His brain is fucking horizontally flat. Just nothing in there.
No room for more thoughts. Yeah. There's no information there. That's
So,
just. Oh
He
God.
can't.
It's pure horizontal.
This is like I have an idea for Karl Marx writes his Wealth of Nations or whatever the hell he writes. He has all the knowledge in the world. He explains how this all works, but he can't explain how to organize people to do the thing he just told you.
Dumbass.
It's like I can give you the ingredients how to bake a cake. I can teach you how to bake the cake, but I can't actually bake the cake. And I can't teach you how to bake the cake either, even though I technically wrote it down. I just don't know what I'm
Do
doing.
shit yourself.
Is it weird? What a dumb thing to say.
What? He's so full of himself too. Like, what a fucking bullshitter. Like,
I have all the answers, guys. I just can't, explain them to you.
why the fuck did you make this video then?
I could bring paradise on Earth, but I can't right now because it's too complicated.
Not
Yeah.
now.
Narcissism? Much? Huh?
Wow, this is the craziest. Well, it's not the craziest, but the dumbest thing he said so far.
No, this is not crazy. This is just retardation.
I know what 2 + 2 is, but I can't answer the question. Like, dude,
So what's 2 + 2? Well, I'm an educator. I'm not an organizer.
I can't organize the letters and words into
I can't organize
numbers.
sport.
with pluses
Very
and minuses. Like, I don't know. It's just
You just gave us 20 minutes of mansplaining, and your end is just going to be, I'm not going to teach you how to cultivate a solution. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
I'm not
doing,
gonna tell you
Renegade Cut?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, hey, we have this, problem, and as the great fucking Zingy Falcon said, do better. That's it.
Oh yeah. You gotta do better. You know what I mean? You gotta listen to what the black man says.
Do better. Like, hey, we're starving. Can you help us? Do better.
Do
Okay, thank you.
Nah, homie, you gotta do better.
Like, hey,
Oh, my
I don't. I can't. I'm paralyzed.
Can't. The fucking.
Do better.
Do better, man. Stop being a white man. You gotta do better.
Stop being a white man. How is that possible?
I don't know what you do, so stop
Vote for
and do better.
Vote for Joe Biden. Vote for Joe Biden.
Yeah, you gotta vote for Joe Biden, man. If you don't vote for him, you ain't black.
What?
That's what Joe Biden said. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That's what he said, and I quote.
Yeah, if you have trouble voting between me and Trump, you ain't black.
You ain't black, man.
anyway.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
let's
keep. Please, yes, please.
I don't have a blueprint to change the world. Although education is the first step, and I hope that this video has been more helpful than harmful. To
It
recap,
is completely harmful.
It was very much harmful.
To
Thank you very
recap,
much.
here's Conan talking about women or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure all of the toxic males around the world watch your video and go, "Oh, that's what that is." Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
and
so
they
much-
pick up their wife off their floor after they just beat the shit out of them.
It's so much clearer now that you brought it back to Conan. That's so much more helpful.
What
so
a
fucking
piece
amazing.
of shit, dude.
Oh, Conan is back.
He's just levitating above us. He has all the solutions.
Except the blueprint.
Yeah, this video is so helpful. Look how many people I've helped. You didn't see that, but I did, and I helped a lot of people.
Masculinity
You
is
just
a
gotta do
hegemonic form
better.
of masculinity that protects aggression and unemotional detachment, and it defines manhood in narrow terms while de-emphasizing
Example, please.
positive traits that are
Actual
sometimes noted
example.
masculine. It is unhelpful or dangerous to people of all genders and is empowered by a rigid
So all two of them.
vertical hierarchy
He's
that has
back to
existed
vertical.
for centuries. Said hierarchy can't be taken down overnight. We can't just cut off the head of Thulsa Doom.
Yes, you can. If it's a hierarchy, you go to the top and you cut off the head, and there's no more hierarchy. Everyone goes away.
Yeah, just burn it all down. Anybody got a nuke?
Maybe
if it was-
Japan has one.
If it was a horizontal bullshit, and you cut one of the guys out, it doesn't matter because they're all on the same level. But
Hey,
Okay.
look at Chernobyl. Chernobyl has no one, no hierarchy. The perfect place.
Yeah. So it's like Hydra. So he thinks it's like Hydra. You cut off one head, two more shall take its place.
Hey,
Yeah,
God damn it.
Unless you cut it vertical, then you cut all the heads.
Unless you involve radiation poisoning, then yeah, Chernobyl. Like Chernobyl, all it has, the only hierarchy you have is radiation.
Yeah, we need a vertical bomb. That's what we need.
Well, this is just drop it down from on high. Like a
it doesn't explode horizontally, it explodes straight down.
Straight down. Straight up.
It's like digs
So
a hole.
if you're listening, send us bomb.
Like a mile.
Doesn't even explode into a normal explosion. It just explodes into a beam in the sky. Zoom, goes straight up.
It just digs a hole really, really deep.
Oh my god.
To the other, right down to the molten core.
Like a 1 meter hole just straight down.
It's all about them holes.
All the way through the core to the other side of the world.
We achieved horizontaltisms. Congratulations. We're all dead.
All right.
Communism. Are you ready, comrade?
No.
Yes. Yes, Comrade Linsninsky. Let's go kill capitalists and turn this place into horizontal Earth.
Oh my god. So flat Earth.
Yes.
Fuck
The Earth has always been flat.
No, fuck you.
Flat Earth is for capitalist scum.
No, Robert, I don't want to go fucking bowling.
All right. Let's finish 30 seconds.
And change with one stroke. But within the current system we have, we should always make an effort to minimize harm and affect change where we can.
Could you please be more specific? Please.
Smudge.
So he notably
He's not going to go.
like a robot there.
What a generic piece of useless, like, whatever you do, you gotta minimize harm and affect change wherever you can, okay?
Yeah, calm down there, Trump.
Like,
You gotta.
can you just be a nice guy like me? Just be nice.
You have to access your true humanity.
Yeah. Why aren't you at?
Stop being toxically masculine.
No.
It affects all.
It affects all genders.
I thought it affects men. What the fuck? Renegade, you just said it's a man's thing, and then you said it's not natural. Then you went back to a man thing. Renegade, make up your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Yes,
What if I, Renegade? What if I identify as a non-binary?
That's I don't know. That's not even horizontal. That's like that's what
That's like a dot. Just a little dot.
A dot in the middle of nothing and nowhere. Like I don't.
Anyway. All right.
Fuck it. Kill him.
Yeah,
Kill
fuck you.
Done. No more.
So were you happy with this video, Smud?
My God.
What do you think?
That was sad.
Like I just literally came back from a 4-hour drive from a village, and this is like the first time opening an internet, and that's what I get.
An internet.
An internet.
So, guys, next time you want to learn about toxic masculinity, go watch Schwarzenegger movies or some shit.
Yeah.
All things. Go ahead.
Watch Arnold Schwarzenegger.
All right, here we go. Are we up? Yeah, we're on Streamlabs. Here we go.
Okay.
Normal people. Okay. Hawk. Southern Canada. Wasteland. Oh dear.
Oh God.
Thanks, Hawk.
Wait. Did he say that earlier? I don't remember.
Well, he was talking to Glib? Or who was he talking to? I can't remember.
Oh, Glib?
Yeah. Toxic masculinity at its finest. And
Yeah,
What a
guy saving his comrade, yeah. What a piece of shit.
no one complains about toxic femininity, and I'll have a double.
Oh, God, is that Christina Hendricks? Jesus.
She pouring a double black of Johnny Walker? I think she is.
Seems like it.
And I'm more attracted to Johnny Walker. Because I actually have some double black in my liquor cabinet.
Of course.
Listen,
Thank you, Damien.
Listen up, men. Be sure to check your toxic masculinity at the door. Oh.
Ah,
Before
yeah.
they all got shut up.
Traps. A girl that is a reincarnation of a dead salaryman.
Oh.
Huh.
Oy vey.
I have an art degree says what is and is not toxic masculinity. And then we defeated the wrong enemy. General George S. Patton, 1945.
The fuck is this thing?
Oh, God, is that Obama?
The
I think it
patriarchy.
Is this Obama if he wore the mask?
Blame an Illuminati of evil lizard aliens that are systematically oppressing women. Gratuitous sarcasm. Okay.
It's like the first thing that came to mind with that one, it was the fucking mask. It's like, wait a minute.
There we go. Let's smash the patriarchy. Oh, hi, guy. Do you have like a sledgehammer I could borrow? I'm not really good with tools. Tee hee. Wow, it's heavy. What? I can just keep it? Aw. You're such a sweetie. Kisses. Oh my god, what did I just read?
What?
Huh? Is that Anita?
I don't know what that is.
I hope it's not.
boy.
I'm not sexist. Sexism is wrong, and being wrong is for women.
Oh, based.
Real based. What the fuck?
Toxic masculinity, traditional masculinity, hegemonic masculinity. What the hell is going on?
What?
Whoa, what?
Also, jargon terms that require a second definition just to understand the meaning of the one of the words do not lend themselves to educating the masses. I don't think they lend themselves to learning anything about anything. It's just this pile of words just to redefine things.
Really? You don't say.
I can't believe it. People actually walked away thinking they learned something.
Oh, I'll show you a 7.92 millimeter of toxic femininity. Communist swine. Oh, that show. Oh my god. Renegade Cut is boring and not so memeable. Have a tomboy. That's a tomboy?
That's a tomboy?
Holy.
God damn, she's thick.
I want that.
She has a
tomboy.
tail too. I don't know who this is, but yeah.
I think she's from Health Taker, if I recall.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Mateus, don't play with my emotions.
20.27. What true toxic masculinity is name calling. Yeah.
20.27.
When I call someone an idiot after they've proven to me they don't understand words, and I call them an idiot, they think I'm a bad boy.
That's toxic, yeah?
Well,
That's
no,
toxic.
that's not really toxic. If you leave that comment on his video, that's toxic.
Exactly.
What the hell's going?
Oh,
Beating
dead
up a
horse.
dead horse.
That Mike Testa and me just beating the shit out of a dead horse.
A dead renegade horse.
Is that that's Renegade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how
Alright.
it's horizontal?
No one is going out on a heist because they saw Conan the Barbarian smud.
Meanwhile, in DC. Payday 2.
Oh, yeah, Payday.
Oh,
Okay.
that crazy video game. It's a nutty video game. Freaking crossbows. Being unemotional is toxic masculinity. Stoic people. Not
He's
drinking.
not even drinking the beer. What the fuck? That's funny.
He's too stoned.
What's the name of that anime again? It has a funny. What the hell is it? Oh.
I don't know.
I think is that JoJo Bizarre? I don't know.
No, it's not JoJo. It's something else. The feeble minds of Smudcast. Name calling is toxic masculinity.
Of course.
Yeah.
Bearserker, shut the fuck up, you cunt.
I love Tom Hardy. Do you see Renegade's face in the corner?
Yeah. When the soft-spoken bread tuber starts answering questions science can't answer, you shoot the freaking loser.
Yeah.
More like Han Solo, actually.
Tell you what, Renegade cunt, I'll listen to what you have to say about masculinity the second you can bench more than 45 pounds.
You know he can't. He can't.
Oh,
Yeah, of course,
Wow.
of course he fucking can. What do you think?